pastor doing the invocation tonight. When you come up, if you could introduce yourself, please. And we will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Balboa, Commissioner Balboa, please. Do we have the guest? Or is it you, Pastor Magdalani? Of course, we know who you are. Come on up, sir, please.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, staff. I just have a scripture and a short prayer. The scripture is from Isaiah 41, verse 10, and it's God speaking through the prophet, and he says this: "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Let's pray. Father God, we do acknowledge you tonight. We thank you for your presence here. And Lord, we know that every good thing proceeds from you, as your word says. So we thank you for the good things in this city, Lord. And Father, we thank you for the citizens of this city, the city of Hawthorne, your grace upon each of them, including our children. Ask that you bless and protect them. Our seniors, help them, strengthen them, provide for them. May we glean from their wisdom. We thank you for our first responders, our awesome police department and fire department and medical staff. Pray that you help them and protect them as they help and protect us. We thank you for this council tonight, Lord God, and everything on the agenda. Pray that decisions would be made with your wisdom and your grace and your mercy. Lord, that integrity, unity, and peace would rule tonight. I personally pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Please stand. Before we do the Pledge of Allegiance, I would like to recognize the veterans of the United States of America and the police officers that this evening in this place. Please place your right hand over your hand, face your flag, and repeat with me. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which is one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. The roll call, please.
Councilmember Johnson,
Present.
Councilmember Manning, Councilmember Reyes English,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Montero,
Present.
Mayor Vargas.
Here. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, we have the rules of decorum. I'm not going to repeat them. We've repeated them in the last 2 or 3 meetings, so just want to remind everybody that on council, et cetera, and even in the audience, there's certain rules of decorum that apply to the audience as well. Thank you. We have about, Jesus, let's see. We have 4 presentations. So a quick reminder, we have about a 10-minute limit to be able to cover those, just for the sake of expediency in the meeting. So if you could be conscious when presenting your items. Mayor Pro Tem Montero has an item. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, good evening, everyone. I'm going to be short because all the presentations have been made already. But first, I want to say thank you to my colleague, Dana Hunter, for joining me to celebrate the Black History Month. I want to thank our city manager, Ron, and Catherine and Ashley at the city manager's office for helping us recognize these outstanding citizens of, especially it's everyday heroes, you know, because especially I want to say thank you to Dr. Brian Markarian and also Dr. Stephen Nillman for nominate those wonderful teachers because some of them has been with the district for 30 years, 35 years, and when we do not recognize teachers, you know, like we should be doing every day. Since it was Black History Month, so we want to make sure that we celebrate the rich history of African American in this country, and because blacks were here since 1600. And I want to thank Dr. Abernethy for giving us the history of her father and Dr. Martin Luther King. And of course, you know, last week we lost another giant, you know, Jesse Jackson, that was a pioneer also from the civil rights movement. So we want to celebrate life. We want to celebrate because every single life matters. So regardless, black, white, Asian, Latino, so we're all human beings. So that's why we recognize people, because we have a diverse community right here in the city of Hawthorne. So we want to make sure that diversity and equity and justice is for all. So thank you again, and again, thank you for my colleagues for helping me give those certificates, those proclamations actually to all the teachers. They are everyday hero that we need to celebrate because they teach our children to be better than us. So thank you.
Next, we will have a presentation regarding the Los Angeles Dream Center from the Housing Director, Kimberly Mack. Where are you at? Kimberly? Ms. Kimberly Mack?
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and staff. Wanted to take the opportunity to express our gratitude and experience we had dating back to June of 2025. Staff, including the city manager, past police chief, current police chief, we had the opportunity to go to the Los Angeles Dream Center, and one of the things we strive to do at the City of Hawthorne is take care of our people experiencing homelessness. We offer great services now, but we're always looking for ways to extend that and to continue what we have. So it was a great opportunity to take a look at the services that they offered, from offering homeless outreach to transitional housing, to food, to clothing. You get the opportunity to hear more about that in the presentation to come. I wanted to take the opportunity to state it was a great experience, and it would be a benefit to Hawthorne to consider approving this later down on the agenda. I want to introduce Mr. Chase Garcia of the Los Angeles Dream Center. Chase is the Chief Programs Officer there, and he will provide us with tonight's presentation.
Okay, so can I have to like hold it? Okay, I'm not sure why, but yeah. All right. Good evening, guys. I'm Chase Garcia, and excited about the potential partnership with you guys. I've been working at the Dream Center since 2017, and just here to highlight some of the resources and things that we provide. So the Dream Center, it's been in existence since 1994, and we're here to serve the physical, spiritual needs of the community. And so I prepared a little bit of a little PowerPoint to kind of highlight some of those things. Let's see here. Okay. Sorry, guys. I will say that we are a faith-based organization, and so the main goal that we have is to see lives transformed through Christ and to see everybody live their God-given dream. And we provide many different housing resources as well as outreach resources as well. Let's see here. So the first program I'd like to highlight is our discipleship program. We have a 3-year recovery journey or pathway that people can take if they're struggling with any type of depression or drug and alcohol addiction, any life-controlling issue. I actually went through the program in 2015, and God used the program to help deliver me from a 14-year alcohol and meth addiction. And so the program works, or God uses the program, and I'm fruit of the place. But it's 1 year. It's completely free. Everything's provided as far as housing, clothing, food. I think one of the biggest assets that we have is a strong community, just of encouraging one another to accomplish the goals that they have set before them. Should somebody graduate our discipleship program, they have the option of staying for a second and third year. Just kind of, it's a highly structured program, and so the second year has like 50% less rules, and then third year is where they really get to focus on getting back to work, going to school. The first year, they're not even able to work or go to school. It's just really designed to work on the relationship with God and just overcoming the addiction piece. But just wanted to highlight that recovery pathway. We also have 3 different transitional housing programs. So if you are a foster youth that has aged out of the foster care system, we have a 12-month residential program. This one is not as structured. It's a lot more freedoms, right? This is where somebody can come in and go straight to work, go straight to school, and like I said, everything's free. People they have the opportunity to really save a lot of money. There's case management, that everybody receives, mentorship, leadership development. and just, practical life skills building. We also have a transitional housing program for our veterans. Hallelujah. Amen. And we've actually teamed up with an organization called Reboot that helps veterans kind of reverse engineer, from military mindset back into civilian mindset, and just really focusing on identity and purpose. Really just looking for long-term success, and not just to meet a need of housing, but to actually, help one grow in their own life and in their relationship with God. The goal is that, after completing one of our programs, is that they wouldn't recognize themselves, that they would be a completely different person. In addition to that, we also have a family floor program. So if there's any families that are experiencing homelessness, we have 3 floors dedicated to families. It's one of our bigger programs, as the need is so great. And that's another one of the transitional housing programs. Our pastor likes to say that we give people the luxury of time, and so all of our programs are at least 12 months, but we do have some individuals or families that stay for, 2 years, 3 years, case by case basis. So it's an amazing opportunity. I'd also like to highlight just some practical needs. So we have a diner, and 7 days a week people can come from the community and get a free meal. We serve lunch from 11 to 1 on Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday from 12:30 to 2:30, so anybody can just show up and get a hot meal. We also have a food bank, and on next Friday we're going to be launching our food bank pantry, where anybody can come on Friday from 1 to 3, and they can shop for groceries, dairy, milk, fruits, vegetables, diapers, and baby wipes are a huge need, and we're giving out those for free as well. That'll be every Friday. We also have a clothing outreach, and so should anybody need clothing, every Friday from 8 to 12 at the Dream Center, we give out free clothes. And we also have various outreaches called Adopt a Block, where we hand out food and clothing at those sites as well. You can get those locations online. I didn't have them on the PowerPoint here, but dreamcenter.org. Let's see here. We also have an adult education, so should anybody want to get their GED, and obviously all of these resources are given to the residents that are going through our programs as well. But we have a school just right there on our campus, and we've actually partnered with 5 Keys to help people get diplomas and GED. Amen. And then I already mentioned care management earlier. Everybody has the opportunity to have their own personal care manager to work on goals, physical health, school, spiritual, things of that nature. And we're really excited to announce a partnership with California Psychological Services. It's an in-house counseling center, and so our residents, or even the community, it was a big deal for the fact that it was convenient for our residents, right? We were transporting our residents to different parts of LA for these services, so now they can just go up an elevator and have a counselor. And this is also open to the community as well, 10th floor of the Dream Center. And it's free, I guess, if you have Medi-Cal, right? And then we also have some outreaches. So we have 16 different mobile food truck sites where we bring thousands of pounds of groceries every single week, and people can meet their food needs, hopefully, or at least supplement. We probably hand out over 500,000 bags of groceries over the course of a year. And foster care intervention. So if you guys know of a family that is in jeopardy of maybe losing their children because they don't have certain needs in the house, whether it's a bed, a refrigerator, dressers, things like that, they can reach out to the Dream Center, and we will actually figure out what they need. We'll purchase the items. We'll come to the house and build the furniture for them, build a relationship with them as well. And so we've helped. In 2025, we helped 53 families close DCFS cases, just to kind of help them stay together. And So that's kind of the, just, I don't want to go too long, guys. I'm sorry it sounded like a list, but you can get more information at dreamcenter.org. And if you have any questions, info@dreamcenter.org. You can send us an email. And then the phone number is there as well, 213-273-7000. And thank you guys for your time. Is that pretty much it right there, or?
Mr. Mayor, is there any questions for Chase?
Yes. Chase, thank you for being here, and congratulations on your, God blessing you and being able to turn your life around through this program. So I really want to congratulate you on that.
I appreciate you.
Because you did the heavy lifting on that one too.
Yeah.
So, are you guys considered a nonprofit or for-profit? Or I'm sorry. Okay.
Nonprofit, faith-based. We're Christian, but I do want to say we're very respectful. Another one of our pastors saying is people belong before they believe. And so we're never going to try to shove the gospel down people's throat. But should they join one of our programs, church attendance is mandatory. There's some curriculum that's Bible-based. So just kind of want to be forward with that. But we're very gentle. So.
I've always said I think that's a great thing. I think our country needs a little bit more of God in their lives, and we need to talk it and live it and stuff. So I work at a jail, the LA County jail system, and the reentry is a very important a part of it to reduce recidivism. And so a program like yours is not just a program. Mm-hmm. Your program has more foundation and just has God in the middle of in the center of it all. So I think yours is very impactful. So congratulations, and may the program live for a long while.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
To the chair?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. I'm probably going to be one that's going to ask you the hard questions. It's not Scientology, correct?
No.
What's your preference in faith you mentioned?
Christianity.
Christianity.
Holy Bible. Jesus Christ.
No, I get that, but what's your religion? Is it?
It's Christian.
Baptist? Is it Baptist? Is it Pentecostal?
Okay, it's an Assemblies of God ministry.
Okay.
But that's not really something that is a huge influence.
It's Bible driven.
Yes.
Okay, Bible driven.
Not Assemblies of God.
Old Testament, New Testament, things like this, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. What year did you guys establish yourselves?
1994.
Okay. I did try to go to the Secretary of State to look for your Los Angeles Dream Center, and there's no record. So having said that, before anything that I would approve, either an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, I appreciate the efforts that you're trying to make with regards to partnership with our city and doing outreach to the people that most need it. And I commend you for as far as you've gone. However, I'd like to see a 501(c)(3) LLC filed with the city clerk's office before I support any efforts moving forward. So if you could provide that to us, I'd appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia, for your presentation. Are your services bilingual?
I'm sorry?
Are your services bilingual?
Residential programs are English. If somebody can, somewhat understand, you don't have to be fully fluent, but the curriculum, it's in English. But we do have some residents who are undocumented in our Family Floor program, and they don't speak any English, and so we use Google Translate. It's a little bit challenging, but we do accept on the Family Floor mainly those cases. Discipleship, which is our recovery program, it's a little bit more strict, I guess. So to answer your question, it's advertised as English, but there have been some exceptions made.
And do you, top of your mind, in 1 year, how many people have you helped? In 1 year, for example.
Okay, so that's a. I actually have something here. Give me 1 second.
Because I know you mentioned you guys help 53 families, stay together through foster care.
Yeah, for the foster care intervention. We serve 40,000 people a month, and that's just through all the different various types of ministries that we have. As far as residential, right now our numbers have been lower. Right now we currently have about 215 overall residents in all of our programs. So as far as having an exact number,
it's fine. It's fine. Thank you. Appreciate it. So
I'll
so
get back
you
to you on
said various ministries. So how many ministries you guys have in LA County, for example? It's just
well, we're the only Dream Center in LA County.
Uh-huh.
When I say various ministries, just different types of ministries at the Dream Center.
other service.
yeah,
Okay.
so
All right. Yeah.
different programs, different types of services, sorry.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes,
To the chair.
yes.
Wanted to know, how are you guys funded? How do you guys stay afloat?
Yeah, so it's primarily donors. So we actually started our first grant with the government in 2021. It was CalVIP, and then we did CalAIM for a few years, and that was the first time that our pastor said that we could pursue a grant with the government because they still allowed us to, talk about Jesus. But it's primarily donors. Yeah, donors, and there's been some years where it's been really tight, but God has provided. But yeah, it's mainly donors. Our CalVIP grant was not awarded for the next cohort,
Sure.
and then we just ended CalAIM in December. So right now we're pursuing other opportunities, but
And then the other question, you talked about the drug program. How does that work in terms of the counselors? Are they paid? How does that work? Are they, from the church, they're pastors, or are they licensed? How does that work?
yeah. So as far as the partnership with the counseling center that I highlighted, so there, when people come in, we'll usually sign them up for health insurance, right? And if they have any type of Medi-Cal, then those counseling services would be covered through that. Everything else is completely free. As far as like spiritual development and spiritual counseling, we have spiritual formation classes all throughout the year. Just like core, gospel, biblical teaching, as well as practical things. The individuals that teach those classes are not licensed.
Okay, so you don't really have licensed in-house staff that are facilitating those classes to the people that are trying to get off drugs.
Yeah, so so for as far as like medical, no. We do have a couple drug and alcohol counselors, but the majority of 70% of the staff at the Dream Center are graduates of our program. So we have
Okay.
a lot of staff that have lived experience,
Right.
that are teaching those classes. And so
Got it.
as far as having everybody, it being a requirement for them to have a license to be on staff, that's not the case. But there's
Right.
lots of people.
I
yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm learning more as you're telling us a little bit more about your programming. So when you made mention that, say for instance, hypothetically, right, you encounter a client, a potential client that needs assistance with recovery. If they're Medi-Cal, Medicaid, Medicare, A and B, because they're social, say for instance, they're over 65.
Yeah.
So you have A and B, Medicare, Medicaid. Are you doing billing services when you render services to these individuals?
So when we were doing CalAIM, we were. That ended in December, so now there's no billing. That was the first time that we had a billing department. It was one person, and so we did CalAIM for about 2 years, and things started changing as far as like what was considered a billable service. So currently, right now, there's no billable things that we're doing. Everything is just it's just donor-based.
Donor-based.
Yeah.
I was just curious because as a medical biller myself, ICD-9 coding and 10, I was curious if you had that happening within your services. So obviously when you do your coding, that's how you receive your payment for services rendered, right? So I was just curious as to if you're doing that now. You just said that ended.
Yeah.
Was it because it was not working, or why did it end?
Yeah, so the previous executive that was before me, she made the decision to end that because of, she said that things were changing as far as like what qualified as a billable service, and the clientele that we were serving became more and more, like I guess not qualifiable as something we could bill. And so we were actually starting to lose money when it came to like payroll and things like that. And so with CalAIM, it was just for ECM, which is the Enhanced Care Management, and then the housing, or CS Housing, you know, just for housing people. And so that's the extent of what I know as far as why we ended it and what billing that we were doing. And then CalVIP is the other one where, you know, that's the violence intervention program where we were teaching Courage to Change classes in the jails, as well as to our residents in some of the programs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to know that in the MOU, you're basically providing a service. So that's basically coming to Hawthorne, participating in our events and functions and things like this, having a table ultimately, which is tabling, so that you could hopefully get clients, folks that might have a need with your services that you render.
Yeah.
But there isn't anything else other than that. It would be just networking.
Yeah, you know, the hope is that, yeah, we could come to your resource fairs, or if you guys just had referrals, you know, of people that were in need of housing. It was just kind of a partnership is what our conversations were about. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, not a problem.
We're just, so I'm kind of confused why we would even need a memorandum of understanding.
If I can jump in, I can answer that question.
Because it seems to complicate this issue, and
No, I don't
more
think it
questions
does
are.
with MOU, because this is a new service in the city. And I wanted city council, due to the questions that are being asked, to understand what we're entering into. This is no cost to the city. This is another feather in the hat of homeless services. So if funding runs out in another program, we can lean on the Dream Center to help us out.
Okay.
So it's just another option that our homeless service team can work with.
So, but I know there was a, so any questions you get here that seems like very inquisitive and back and forth, it's
That's
just
good.
only because we've had a lot of nonprofits that come here. They're not registered as nonprofits, and they don't even deliver on some of the stuff they promise. So
Yeah.
you've been vetted by our city manager and staff. So that's, for us, we just want to make sure that, you know, everything's solid. And like I asked the city manager, there's a reason for it. It's, you know, you guys are legit. You know, he vetted you. We just want to have it on paper, even that, you know, what's expected, so that we don't, it's not just an endless. Are we promising them any money, or?
No, not at all.
Okay. So then I don't think there would be a need for you to even present your nonprofit status, or would there?
We can work with the city attorney, but if that's needed, we'll move forward. And I apologize, I didn't think Chase was gonna receive these type of questions. So I'm sorry, you know, Chase, that you're put on the spot this way.
Yeah.
So any questions that are
I'm here
needed,
for
I
it.
can get the information and get back to city council on information that's needed regarding the Dream Center.
Are you registered as a C3 or a C4?
C3. So
Oh, C3, okay.
I'm thinking maybe the 501c3 is registered under Los Angeles International Church. Maybe that's why it didn't pop up under Dream Center.
That's what happens. This is that's what usually sometimes happens. There's a different org, and then your
Yeah.
project is called this. So
Yeah,
I can
and-
see that happening. So I don't think there would be. I personally don't think there's going to be an issue arising from that. But I think this is good. This is
Yeah.
great, actually.
To the chair.
Yes.
I just want to speak from experience. My daughter has done 2 missions trips to your facility while she was in high school. It was a part of her curriculum. She spent 2 weeks, actually, one on each time. And she was telling me how they actually went into somebody's home and put together furniture. And she couldn't believe that, and I had tried to tell her, because I grew up in foster care, that children can be taken if they don't have a bed. If they don't have 2 days or 3 days, I don't know what it is in LA, food in the cupboard. Just simple things like that. Instead of providing that to the family so they can keep a family together, they don't even bother. They just take the child. And she got to see firsthand, you guys at work, and she got a new appreciation for how I was raised, and she got to go into the community and give out food and play basketball and all that. So she had a great time with you. So I really appreciate that that experience for her, because it did open her eyes. Now, you guys have more than one Dream Center across the nation. How many Dream Centers do you have?
There's over 100 all across the nation, and even some international. But they all operate kind of independently. We are trying to bolster up our DC network, it's called, to kind of, I guess, get that more organized. I'm brand new to the executive team. I've been here for about 3 months, and so some of these questions are a little bit higher level than what I've been exposed to in my previous roles. And so if there's any questions that you guys need answers to, I can get those answers for you if you weren't satisfied with the answers that you got today. But yes, there are other Dream Centers that are in the country, yeah.
And you've had some pretty high-profile donors too, haven't you?
Yes, yes.
In the area.
Yeah, there's been quite a few celebrities that have come through, The Rock and Chuck Liddell and Chris Pratt. There's a few.
And a couple football players.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right, I think, are we done? Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for presenting this information. This is great, a great story, a great testimony. So let's give him a round of applause for his presentation. We'll be moving on to item 3. Councilmember Manning, please proceed with the item 3, please, Miss.
Thank
Ma'am.
you so much, Mayor. So myself and Councilwoman Reyes English, we sit on LAX board, and so consistently we're trying to make sure that you guys have information about what's going on, as it does impact our community. And so I'm gonna ask the Metro folks if they can come up, LA Metro, and give us a presentation update on what's happening. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for having me here. Ron Macias, Construction Relations, representing Metro, on the I-105 Express Lanes project. Again, thanks for having us. Our project team members are here today joining us here for the meeting, and we'll provide a brief presentation on the status of the project. The project has been well under construction for a little bit over a year now, and we're focused on the western segment of the corridor. This is roughly from the very western terminus all the way to roughly just slightly east of the 110 freeway is where we're performing our work right now. And the project is progressing quite nicely. We are a little bit over 50% complete regarding construction into the segment 1 area. We are intending to proceed with construction in the remaining eastern segments of the corridor in the near future, and the project team is finalizing the design for those improvements that we intend to build in that segment of the corridor. So we have a presentation, so we'll get into a discussion regarding our project. Our project is a major transportation, capital infrastructure construction project for the local area and the region. We are, the main purpose of the project is to, well, let me step back. There are many benefits for the project, not just express lane users, but for all motorists on the freeway, and as well as the surrounding community as well. But the project is primarily focused on improving travel times on the corridor and enhancing safety on the corridor as well. As far as the project overview, the project essentially, through its construction, expands and converts the existing HOV lane on the corridor to 2 express lanes in each direction, from the 405 freeway to the west and to the eastern end of the terminus at Studebaker Road near the 605 freeway. The project provides greater access, connections to all users on the freeway. The project is further building out and expanding the existing express lanes network in the region. As stated, we are well under construction in segment 1. and we intend to proceed with construction of remaining eastern segments around mid-2026. And this project entails no residential right-of-way impacts, meaning no residential property acquisitions will be needed to construct this project.
I'm sorry, where is segment 1 at?
Okay, segment 1 here. In the map is basically from the very western end.
Oh,
There
I
we
see
go,
it.
Sepulveda.
Okay.
As you can see the map there, it has the project broken up into segments. As stated, segment 1, we're under construction in the very western segment between Sepulveda to Central Avenue, to be exact, which is just east of the 110 freeway.
Okay, thank you.
Continue, sir.
As far as the project benefits, as stated, there are many. For all, the project addresses the speed degradation that currently exists on the HOV lane, as the travel conditions are not operating as expected or intended. So the project is intended to address this and to increase or raise the travel speeds on average during travel peak hours on the corridor. The project is primarily designed, as stated, to improve travel times, ease congestion, and manage mobility along the corridor, as it expected that motorists in the general purpose lanes, these are non-express lane users, would achieve improved travel times as well. The project has a number of safety enhancements, so there are some added improvements that are designed to support safer travel conditions, and the project is expected to reduce freeway overflow traffic onto local communities as well.
Sir, I hope you can address why the barriers that separate the general traffic from the HOV lanes, why those barriers are taken down in very crucial parts of the freeways that we have here in LA. That allows for merging in places where they're improper. And so it's more prone to accidents. It's more prone to accidents, and people are merging in and sneaking in where they're not supposed to. So it's going to be slowing things down. So, I mean, you're trying to solve a problem when you guys are just either removing these or allowing these barriers, the little plastic, separate, plastic cones or looking things from, just falling apart. So
yeah, that speaks to one of the safety improvements that I have on the slide. One of the bullets that I have here, we are installing channelizers as a buffer zone to separate the express lanes from the general purpose lanes to reduce illegal and unsafe lane merging. So we are installing barriers on this project, or traffic channelizers.
Please, thank you.
Yeah, it's one of the several safety features. In addition, auxiliary lanes are being added to improve lane merging and lane transitions at segments of the corridor where they do not exist. And with the improvement of the traffic flow and the improvements provided by our project, it is expected that there'll be less stop-and-go conditions and less traffic incidents and rear-end collisions. And we are updating the striping of the freeway lanes to improve nighttime visibility as well. And in addition, there are some additional improvements. We are adding new sound walls at certain locations along the corridor, as well as we are reconstructing many sound walls to a taller height in many cases. Also, we are seismically retrofitting the Alameda Viaduct on Alameda Street. And also, there are some multimodal improvements provided by the project, as well as the project provide funding to the Sea Line stations at the Harbor Station, the Avalon Station, to provide funding for such items as lighting, signage, and other repair, rehab projects as well. And as with express lanes in general, future net toll revenue generated from the use of express lanes are reinvested back into the local communities and are utilized for local projects to fund transportation, roadway, and other type of transit projects. And here in this exhibit, you see the final lane configuration when all of our improvements are built. We'll have 2 express lanes on the right-hand side there. We're maintaining the same number of general purpose lanes, which are 3 lanes. We have the auxiliary lane as well as the shoulder area along the corridor. In express lanes, they're operating right now in the region We have the express lanes on the I-10 farther to the east, and also the I-110 freeway where this project will directly connect to seamlessly. Again, express lanes are open to all motorists. Vehicles with multi-passenger of at least 3 individuals can utilize express lanes free of charge with the use of transponders as if it's an HOV lane. And this applies to transit buses as well, utilizing the express lanes free of charge. And single occupancy passengers, or vehicles rather, will be charged a toll rate through dynamic pricing and travel demand.
So quick question, thank you. So you have the transponder, you could use it regardless of how many people you have. If it happens to be more than one person, it'll be free. You have cameras that detect that and are able to intelligently figure that out?
We're looking into developing that. Right now, one has to declare how many passengers they have with the use of their transponder. But we're looking to develop the technology to look into having detection, automatic detection.
So no like little teddy bear with the baseball cap next to you? That's not gonna fly, right? It's pretty soon.
Right,
Okay.
it will not.
Right.
Yeah. Now, as far as the actual construction projects or the work activities and improvements being built by the project has and will continue to build a roadway pavement construction where work has been primarily on the right-hand side shoulder of the freeway. We've been out here for some time performing that work. And as part of building new roadway pavement construction, there are other types of work activities that need to be performed in conjunction and in support of new roadway pavement construction, and that's the reconstruction of sound walls, as I mentioned, as well as some new sound walls will be built in certain locations. Retaining wall construction is being built at certain locations along the corridor as part of new roadway pavement construction, and also about 7 undercrossing or crossings or bridges in the segment 1 area are being widened to support this work as well. And at some point during the latter phases of a project in each segment, work will shift from the outer edges and move toward the center of the freeway, where our work crews will build the actual express lanes infrastructure at the center median of the corridor, and that's building signage structure, electrical equipment, tolling systems, pavement markings, and reconstruction of some barriers at certain locations along the median of the freeway.
So the 105 freeway getting off on Crenshaw, do you have a timeline? Is that timeline on here when you guys will be completed with that?
Okay, well, we have our construction timeline that leads into the next slide. So this is an overall timeline for the project with its particular construction phases for each of the segments. As we are well underway in segment 1, we do intend to start construction in the remaining segments 2 and 3, in mid-2026, roughly. Segment 1 construction will proceed to a new phase of work where the work will shift to the center of the freeway, roughly mid to late 2026 of this year. And construction will continue for segment 1 thereafter, where we anticipate having segment 1 construction complete by 2028. And then the remaining segments will continue construction until 2029.
Thank you.
And this is an exhibit showing the various sound walls that are under construction. Most of them are reconstructed sound walls to a taller height, as well as some new sound walls. Again, as this is to support the new roadway pavement construction. Most of these sound walls that are reconstructed to a taller height will range from roughly 4 to 6 feet taller as we reconstruct the sound wall to support new roadway pavement construction. And this is an exhibit just to highlight the specific locations where the sound walls are built in the city of Hawthorne. As you can see here on the westbound and eastbound sides here, we started this work in early April of 2025, last year. We had to remove and demolish the sound wall in order to reconstruct it. We have been pretty much grading the area leveling out the slope and the hillside, prepping the area for the eventual rebuilding of the sound walls, and we anticipate having the sound walls actually completed roughly around mid 2026 of this year, while we'll continue to have some new roadway pavement construction continuing thereafter. Most of this work is done during the daytime hours, and work crews are accessing the work site via the freeway.
To the chair. I was actually waiting for your section here of your presentation with regards to the sound wall. I can't really make out the purple that
Okay.
you have outlined there. Maybe you could help me. I want to ask if, I know you said it would include Hawthorne, and I saw Lennox there, but would it include the additional height and sound wall improvements to not only the Hawthorne adjacent to like the 120th, that runs a line to like 120th, all that round, and then on the other side, which is the Holly Park neighborhood of Crenshaw and Van Ness, is those sound walls include there too?
No, this is primarily where the sound walls are being constructed in this particular area. We're talking about 118th Street all the way to the Dominguez Channel near Yukon Avenue. That's pretty much where the sound walls are being built in this particular area.
And there's not going to be any others for consideration?
Not for the segment 1 area, no.
Can we fight you on that?
Well, I'm sorry, the scope of the project has been well-defined for some years since the environmental impact stage. There's a preclude for sound walls being added by Caltrans for a future project, but right now, our scope of our project is pretty much set.
Okay. I like the fact that you're actually addressing the sound wall issues and adding additional height. And I think that's very important for the residents. You know, we already have the LAX, you know, airplanes flying overhead, you know, sometimes Hawthorne airplanes. And so again, traffic is other, you know, concerns too with regards to noise, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
Understood, thank you.
Please proceed, sir.
And also, with respect to undercrossing bridge widening, these are certain particular locations in the Hawthorne Inglewood area. You got the Dominguez Channel and Yukon Avenue. Those are undercrossing bridge structures that are being widened. We started this work in May of 2025. We anticipate wrapping this up in mid-2026. Again, most of the work activities are done during the daytime hours, and work crews are accessing the work site from the freeway. And these are retaining wall construction activities. These activities are situated at certain areas of the project alignment where we are building these improvements into a hillside. We started this work in early 2025, anticipate wrapping up in mid-2026. And again, most of the work is during the daytime hours with some occasional nighttime work, as there is sometimes the need to implement some late night closures to implement certain nighttime activities, which is necessary to perform certain work. And again, access for these activities are from the freeway. And I just wanted to show you this exhibit, kind of the typical areas where we're building these retaining walls. The bulk of the retaining walls for the segment 1 area are from Vermont Avenue to Crenshaw. And the top photo there shows the freeway conditions or settings or configuration of where we are building these retaining walls, where the freeways are at a lower elevation, depressed, and we're constructing these improvements into a hillside in order to create new roadway pavement construction. So we're building a retaining wall into the hillside. And as far as traffic control, the project has and will continue to implement nighttime traffic control in order to support the project and ongoing construction, as there is a need to implement lane reductions in order to safely perform the work and to build its improvements. So we have been regularly implementing nighttime closures at intermittent locations along the corridor where there's a need to implement lane reductions, some ramp closures in order to advance the project during the late night hours. On an occasional basis, not too frequently, we have been implementing directional freeway closures where we had to close the freeway in one direction fully in order to support certain work activities. These are certain activities such as the restriping of all the travel lanes that we did initially when we started the project in order to establish work zones for the work crews, to build a project, to give them some workspace, which allows them to pretty much do a lot of the work during the daytime hours without closures. And also, when we have to remove a overhead sign that spans the freeway, we will have to implement a directional closure in order to safely perform that work. So these type of closures will happen on occasion, but less frequently.
Yes, go ahead. You have a question.
Oh, I was gonna wait till he finished and then I was
It's
gonna say
okay.
what I had to say.
If you have something right now, just go ahead and ask.
Oh, I was just gonna say that if you could maybe have somebody update us more frequently when we have these closures so that we know, so we can notify our community. And then I also wanted to find out what specifically outreach were you doing for our community for the city of Hawthorne?
Yeah, well, we create construction notice for work activities that began. We describe the work activities, talk about the associated closures. We e-blast the communications and utilize social media. Nextdoor, which is a local social and community networking platform. We have electronic newsletters. We have partners or other entities that we've been collaborating, coordinating with, and they have been happy to forward our information onto their contacts through social media, posting on the website. And we also hold community meetings on a regular basis. We go out and meet communities, have stakeholder briefings, and to explain our project and to inform them of project milestones as well.
Thank you.
And I do want to add that we do have, speaking of that, a significant series of closures that we are going to have to implement in the near future. These are work activities where there will need to be a series of weekend extended lane closures in order to support work pertaining to signage structures being built in the center median. So the contractor, and this is being done in one direction at a time, but lane closures nonetheless over a series of weekends. The contractor is looking to finalize their schedule and confirm the dates, and will certainly be informing the community about these closures as well, doing a robust outreach effort.
Thank you.
Yeah, please proceed.
Just wrap up, community outreach and engagement. We will continue to perform outreach as part of this project. We will implement a number of communication efforts, as stated earlier, use of social media, construction notice dissemination, community meetings, updating the cities and elected officials, and coordinating with key stakeholders such as LAWA. We've been meeting with LAWA regularly, and also some of the entertainment venues in the area as well, and try not to impact when they have such major events such as football games in the area as well. And that wraps up the project, and this is our contact information if anyone needs to reach us or has an inquiry regarding the project.
Thank you, sir, for your presentation. I remember when this thing was built in the 90s, you know, the 105, I didn't think, wow, man, we have to like widen it even more. I'm wondering when the next widening is going to take, what, in 15 years, 10, 15, 20 years? I mean, are we going to build like, what, like double, whatever, double deck type of situations here? But thank you, sir. And I can attest, because I use the 105 as well. When it's not closed, which is infrequent, it's very infrequent, but it's needed, right? In the night, and it's not an inconvenience to us. It could be. I mean, just take Imperial to go up and down that route. That's what I do, or El Segundo. But even when like it's open during rush hour, it reduces there's a reduction in the speed, but it doesn't go less than 40 miles per hour. I mean, there's little segments in which it kind of reduces, you know, and it's expected, and you can always plan for getting off and going on, but it's not even needed. So I think the way you guys designed it, the process, the plan for building this thing, it's been very considerate of the residents and commuters. So thank you.
All right, thank you.
To the chair?
Yes.
It's Mr. Macias, right?
Yes.
Again, thank you for the presentation. I've participated in the community outreach, including the one that you had here at the Memorial Center, and that was the onstart of the actual
Yes.
development, the project. And I'm also one of the express lane holders. And it's a choice, really. It's a choice for those that wish to get it, participate in it. You know, the last 20 years, my ride from Hawthorne to Los Angeles, it fluctuated, and I would sometimes see charges of like $100, you know, monthly, or, you know, but I found it sometimes just taking the streets is faster. But I also have constituents that, you know, made their opinions known to me. You know, our gas tax, which goes to infrastructure, roads and infrastructure and things like this. You know, they wanted to understand, like, why do we need, you know, express lanes for, say, for instance, when we have infrastructure tax dollars that we're already paying for development of existing roads. I think you made mention already in the presentation, and I hope that Vaughn, our city manager, and those that are watching closely and you're participating with here in our city could maybe put those pros and cons on our website, and also provide when the closures are actually happening, so that we could be in partnership and have correct information moving forward, which I think is important. We all use the 120th ramp to access the 105 going east, and obviously the other roads we have on Hawthorne Boulevard, et cetera, to go west. And I did hear about the road closures. You guys put it on radio, on Talk Radio 1070. And so I think just also access to ads and things like this is important, because it's getting out there. The messages are getting out with regards to which streets to avoid, especially when you were working or probably wrapped up the 605 freeway going south. And so that, you know, in a nutshell, I also use. So I thank you for your time, and look forward to additional updates with regards to helping the residents here on soundproofing and how that could benefit them in the long run.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation, and thank you for being here with the, you know, very complete message and very
you.
transparent.
Yeah, we'll
Thank you.
continue to communicate and coordinate with city staff as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Let's give them a round of applause. This is a great effort here. For our final presentation, we have LACADA for Homeless Outreach and Related Services from Hawthorne Police Department. Okay, I don't know if is that.
Good evening, Mayor,
Sir.
Mayor Pro Tem, City Council. We have Manuel Mora from LA County Center, I'm sorry, LA Center for Alcohol and Drug Abuse, LACADA, and Sergeant Raul Espinoza to give a presentation regarding an item that's on the agenda for this evening.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time today. My name is Manuel Mora. I'm the Senior Program Manager with LA CADA. And here is our presentation.
Can you just speak a little bit more directly? We want to hear you nice and
There we go.
loud. Okay, thank you.
That better?
Yeah, it's good.
So LA CADA is a licensed and certified by the state of California and LA County Department of Public Health as a substance use and behavioral treatment provider. LA CADA's Homeless Outreach Department serves as a coordinated field-based response to homelessness, grounded in engagement, collaboration, and dignity. Our teams work directly in the community to build trusting relationships with unsheltered individuals, connecting them to critical services, housing pathways, and long-term stability. We operate with the understanding that effective outreach is not transactional, it is relational. Every interaction is guided with respect, consistency, and individualized approach that meets every single person where they are. The impact of services go beyond the individuals themselves. By providing shelter, food, healthcare, counseling, and supportive services, these programs help improve the well-being, dignity, and stability of homeless individuals. Some of those services include substance abuse treatment, which would include residential treatment, detox, case management, outpatient treatment, and harm reduction, specifically Narcan distribution. along with mental health, which would be a linkage to service providers, one-on-one therapy, group therapy, and recovery planning. Housing assistance, which includes interim housing linkages, permanent housing linkages, and recovery bridge housing linkage. Some additional services as well would be legal assistance, such as transportation, advocacy, and follow-up, transportation to those services, medical services, such as psychiatric evaluation, medication management, and medical integration, and child and family services, which include family sessions, parenting styles, life skills, and professional development. So these numbers are some of the work that we have done over the past fiscal year. So LA CAUTA demonstrates measurable capacity and consistent outcomes serving people experiencing homelessness across Los Angeles County. So for fiscal year 2024 through 2025, which is July through June, through the end of June, we had a total of 23,500 outreach engagements. 5,200 of those were unduplicated individuals, so unique individuals. 225 substance use disorder treatment placements, 1,070 interim housing placements, and 161 permanent housing placements. This is a broad overview of our services that we provide all across LA County. This next slide is the services that we were able to provide to the city of Hawthorne between March 1st, 2022 through June 30th of 2025. So please don't be alarmed with the large number. However, we did have 7,497 engagements, of which 1,377 were first-time engagements. So 1,300 unique individuals were served in the city of Hawthorne. 5,900 were follow-up engagements, with 409 engagements refusing supportive services. Some of the highlights for that would be the team provided 5,600 housing navigation services. The team placed 373 individuals to interim housing. The team placed 55 individuals into permanent housing, 44 into SUD treatment, nearly 200 mental health services, and above 200 medical services. And that is the presentation.
Wow. So problem solved? Is that what you're saying? Is that simple, man?
In a perfect world, we would have the solution for it. But unfortunately, this is an issue. This is a complex issue, which also requires complex solutions. And so we're just one part of that solution. I know the question was asked earlier of the other providers and how that is supposed to make a dent. We are just one person or one entity that is helping with that cause. It requires a whole ecosystem of individuals and services to ensure that we're working towards a solution for the folks that we serve.
Okay, so one thing that's, I don't want to say it's controversial, but it's always kind of with regards to the homeless population within our city, those people who are unhoused, and people, in particular, and those who are suffering from mental illness. The fact that you already know where I'm going with this. The fact that we're in such a great location, I would say, with these freeways around us, the 405, the 105, and we're a transit corridor, and a transit hub, you can even say, that kind of lends itself to maybe people, that aren't Hawthorne residents that end up coming here and, setting up, their temporary domiciles here in the city of Hawthorne. So I see these numbers. Do you have a way, and if not, it's okay, but have you been keeping track if these are people who are Hawthorne residents and are all of a sudden without a home, homeless, and that you're servicing? Or have you been able to establish if they're from where they're coming from, do you have any numbers with regards to that? Because not to say that, we get a lot of flack from other cities and stuff about Hawthorne being this, and that, but it's because we're bold enough as a city and a city council and to be able to undertake this issue and not turn a blind eye to it. So I think that's a great thing on our behalf, but then I also want to know the information too, right? What can you answer? What can you tell me about that?
So I began homeless outreach back in 2022 when the team initially launched. I was actually one of the original outreach navigators on that team. On that first 6 months to a year, alongside working with Dulce Medina, we did attempt to track the amount of individuals that were Hawthorne residents or have ties to the city of Hawthorne. Eventually, that ended up becoming something that we could not track based off of the database that we have and the limitations for it. To your credit, Hawthorne is in this very sweet spot in this local area in which there is a lot of individuals that are just being nomadic by nature, right? They're just traveling. There are also the issues such as SoFi Stadium, such as the Olympics, which caused displacement, which also contributed to higher numbers in the city as well. So for a short-winded answer, don't have that.
Okay, no, but thank you. That's an honest answer, and you're acknowledging kind of the challenges, keeping track. You're looking at me, Chief. Do you have anything to add to that?
I was going to actually defer to Sergeant Espinoza if he has any information on that.
Can we hear your perspective?
Absolutely. When you're working an issue like this, you need to collaborate, and then when there's issues that come through the city, there are people that come through here and establish themselves here, and it affects our residents. And sometimes there are residents that are now homeless, but what we try to do is to link them up with and come up with a solution for it. So that may be establishing a situation where we team up with LACADA, we find a family member that can take them back in and get them there. So it puts a plan in place. Instead of saying, hey, I need you to move, it's, hey, let's get you back with your family or get you in the right services that you need. And when we're teaming up like this, there's more interaction because the police are there and they're there. And it makes it a lot easier to solve a problem for the entire city.
Just to add to that, sir, one of the stats that he threw out was there was 55 people that were permanently housed, which I know Sergeant Espinoza has some stats over the last couple years of the decrease in the amount of homeless population that is currently here in Hawthorne right now, if you could add that.
Yeah, absolutely. At the peak, we had about 500 in the area that we contacted, came down to 150, and there's 60 that we repetitively contact or establish themselves as homeless residents, right? So they're constantly here in the area, and having the opportunity to kind of address the problem. We've had some stories where we're able to place them back with families or send them back home even in another state through LACADA, and that's invaluable to me. So with establishing that relationship with them to address the issue makes it a lot easier for us and a lot less time consuming. It reduces the everything that we take on as a city, and it provides us a solution.
I think it's great that you guys, and everybody, we're being socially responsible here in the city of Hawthorne, not just throwing people and moving around like other cities around us, but kudos to your efforts.
To the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
So I want to ask you, out of that 150, are there any, or do you have an idea of the mental health people that are refusing to be housed or refusing help?
Yes, they do refuse help, but depending on their mental issues that they're having, we do have a mental health unit that can address that as well. So it's a team effort. Not only is it me and my team and LACADA, we also have a mental health aspect to it. And if we need to put them on a hold, we will. And then that starts the process to get additional help from the state to get them remanded not remanded, but I forget what the terminology is, but a conservatorship is what it is.
Okay.
So it just helps. So we do address the mental health aspect of it, and it just adds for a more like a collaborative solution, so to speak.
So would you say those numbers of those people are the ones that you have to keep the remitting, what you said with the 60, I think you said 60 people that you have to keep repeating?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Some people just don't like to follow rules and want to be out on the street. And but the thing is, there's people who you contact over 50 times, and I'm not exaggerating here. That 51st time, they say yes, and to have a team with you right when they have a moment of clarity is invaluable. Because at that moment, they say, I'll take the help. They get in a car that is not a police car. It's a regular car with regular people, and they go get their help. And then when that happens, we may never see them again. And they get the help, and they're in the transition into a better life.
Thank you. I'm totally aware. Oh, sorry. I am totally aware of the work that Licata do. You guys do a lot of great work. Have a very reputable reputation, and so thank you for the work that you do. I appreciate the work that you've done with our city, and I appreciate that you guys continue to collaborate, and also having that mental health aspect does make a big difference, because when you talk about the amount of people that you're helping, but within that group of people, the people that suffer from that mental health, is that part that kind of stays constant. And like you said, when they have that moment of clarity and you're able to help them, it makes all a world of a difference. So thank you so much for the work that you continue to do, and thank you for working for Hawthorne.
Okay. Councilwoman Angie Reyes English?
Yes, thank you. My question is, Licata, you're still working with, who's our homeless person at the, Dulce, you're still working with Dulce. So between your staff and Dulce's staff, you're ultimately doing social work. When you identify folks that want to go back home with their families and they're in another state, you guys coordinate an airline ticket to get them there, is that correct?
More often, it's a Greyhound ticket.
Oh, Greyhound.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Still.
But yes, we are working with individuals on a frequent basis to identify unique solutions to each of the barriers that they're experiencing. Each individual requires their own solution.
Okay.
And then to your credit, right, with some of the individuals that we're encountering over 50 times at a time, that is part of our report-driven service model. And so one of our sayings, right, is that we are consistent, we are compassionate, and we are also kind.
Right.
And kind is putting that into action. It's putting the empathy into action. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just wanting to say that, we as individuals, yourselves as organizations, we can't control people. We can't control where they go, right? Just like residents of Hawthorne, we don't control if they buy a house or if they rent, if they do this or do that. So I just wanted to put that out there because it's very hard, and I'm familiar with the work that I've done, that trying to get a person to get housed versus staying on the sidewalks or the alleyways or the parks is very difficult. And it's true, you have to have them in a right state of mind to get them to even answer you. Sometimes they won't even answer. But I like the fact that there's new policy and legislation through the state that gives us more strength and power to move them along when it comes to the help that they need, right? And that includes conservatorship, and that also includes, giving them an amount of hours or time to move from where they're at to a safe place, which would be, obviously, we want it to be housed in either a shelter, and I'm sure you collaborate with other organizations and shelters throughout Long Beach, LA County, Ventura, and I'm sure other areas, because there's a lot of folks that is doing the work, and there's a lot of cities, communities like ours that are doing the same thing we're doing. We're not any different. We're basically hearing the constituents, hearing the businesses that don't want to wake up and come to their store and find a homeless person at their door, right? We want to be able to assure that everyone's safety is at the forefront, and that we're getting folks such as the businesses to be safe, and also the outreach, which is greatly needed, so that we can move folks along. And that's what's important for Hawthorne. And I appreciate the residents that call and businesses that call. And to be honest, I haven't had as many calls as in the past. So that says something. But thank you so much, Lakata, for your help. And I hope you guys enjoyed the pizzas I dropped off over there not too long ago. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you guys for your feedback. I have a question. Who, sir? You, yes.
Yes.
From Lakata. How many of who do you get the referrals to for services for Lakata? From who within the city do you get these referrals? Is it from our police department?
So historically, we would get it from Dulce Medina. Moving forward, it would be from the police department.
Okay.
Can I add to that, sir? It's because of the way this agreement's going to work, they're going to be working specifically with Sergeant Espinoza in order to have these issues resolved, and for Sergeant Espinoza to have the point of contact to be able to house somebody, transport somebody through the funding source that we have for this.
Okay. How many of these referrals have you received directly from our telehealth program?
From telehealth, we are normally issuing the referrals to them because we partner directly with the telehealth services offers also service for our Bridge of Hope tiny homes, which we operate. So we have not received, to my knowledge, any referrals from telehealth for outreach.
Through the chair, was there a gap in services, or have you been working consistently? Could you explain that, please?
Correct. So there was a gap in services. The previous contract sunset in November, and so essentially we are hoping to renew services with the city.
Mayor Pro Tem, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Manuel, for being here. Thank you, Mr. Sergeant Espinoza. I'm very familiar with Lakata because since we start with tiny homes, you guys has been there with Dulce, and I'm part of the SABECOG, homeless task force, so I see your face all the time, right? But these numbers actually is very important. It's impressive, to tell you the truth, because actually you brought some statistic that is what we need to see. And, we know homeless people have no borders. They go from place to place, but they're transient, so they can move. So that is where, the South Bay COG, all the 16 cities in South Bay, we're trying to deal with this issue together as a teamwork. And I want to commend Chief Lane and Sergeant Espinoza for bringing the Lakata back into the community, because we know mental health is important. And we know the LA County have a budget deficit. They don't have no more money for mental health. The federal government is cutting the money. So it's good for us to have these innovative ideas from the police department to make sure that we have funding to continue your service, because we see Sergeant Espinoza on the street, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, talking with those homeless, and then they have somebody to call and come for service. So Lakata has been very instrumental to our city, and we have seen the decrease in homeless, and we have seen 55 people permanent housing. That is a tremendous achievement. So I had to say thank you, because, even to house one person permanent is a challenge. 55 is tremendous. So I have to commend both of you for this, because like I said, keep bringing those statistics, because this is what we need to see, and this is what we need to go lobby Sacramento, lobby Washington, D.C. for funding, because we know homeless is not going to go away, right? Because, every day housing is more expensive. And that is where programs such as SABECOG is trying to prevent people to become homeless. They don't want to give them money for rental assistance, up to 3 to 6 months, etc., to help them out. So thank you for your service, and thank you, Chief. Thank you, Sergeant Espinoza, and thank you, Manuel, for this partnership, because I think it's a tremendous achievement that shows that Hawthorne is always in the forefront of innovating. Thank you.
Just you're next, but just a particular note that a lot of people think that people who are homeless are just de facto affected by drugs. A lot of people who end up being homeless enter the homeless arena not being addicted to drugs, but end up becoming addicted to drugs after they become homeless. So it's important because of their plight, right? So it's important to remember that. So, so just in case you want to criticize a homeless, a lot of people end up being addicted to drugs because of that. But go ahead, ma'am. Yes, Councilwoman.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is an outstanding program. We'd love to have you back. And I've had a couple of experiences with homelessness in encampments in some of the areas in North Hawthorne. And my hat's off to Sergeant Espinoza and Chief Lane for immediately getting on it. Some of these encampments are huge, and they are a nuisance to our community. And it's really refreshing to see that we have a system in place with the police department where you guys come out and you handle it right away. You give them their 3-day notice, and then you come out and clean it up. So you've done that several times for us in North Hawthorne. So I just wanted to say thank you.
To the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned something earlier that I hadn't actually thought about, but you said that folks will be displaced during the Olympics. And so, which means that that number of homeless people is going to go up. So, thinking about that, do you guys have a plan in place to address that?
This is actually that plan. ma'am.
Okay.
So getting ahead of it before that occurs, having a plan in place, having funding for it for the foreseeable future through the opioid funding, which can really only be used for this, as well as partnering with tiny homes and getting ahead of it before it starts, building up our Metro unit, providing the resources for Sergeant Espinoza to be able to have a team to go out and have direct communication. And then when we meet following these meetings on Wednesday with the CITIF, where all the department heads come together and talk, communicate, and plan as we move into the next couple weeks, that this is the start of that plan.
Thank you so much.
And Jesus, I'm throwing out. This is it because we got to move on this. But I heard the word displaced. You're right, displaced. But because some of our council members, our elected body in LA is going to, all of a sudden want to address the homelessness issue in anticipation for those Olympics. So it just tends to happen when big events like this happen in Olympics. We've seen it in other countries. I mean, I wish it was a genuine effort to address the issue. If it's not, whatever, but we got to be able to handle it on our end. So thank you guys. All right, let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
The guidelines for oral communications, ma'am.
Pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.3, all remarks should be addressed to the City Council as a body and not to any individual council member. During public comments, speakers shall have 3 minutes to state their business. The Brown Act prohibits the City Council from providing a detailed response or acting upon any items not contained on the agenda. The governing bodies as a body shall have the discretion at the close of public comments to refer any remarks to the city manager for study, investigation, report, and/or recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Smith and Madam Clerk. Dr. Brian Markarian.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council, staff, and members of the audience. I just had to come to say thank you for including our educators in the Hawthorne School District and part of the city's Black History Month celebration. It was such a powerful event, and being seen matters, being recognized matters, and being included, having our staff included and recognize that event meant so much. And these beautiful proclamations that were prepared and given to our staff, just so grateful. So on behalf of our Board of Trustees, want to thank you for the outreach there. Also need to thank Hawthorne Police Department that just recently hosted an NBA All-Star Watch Party for our kids after hosting a tournament that was the culmination of a season of basketball that they played with our students on our school campuses. So grateful for that partnership. So that was my thank you, but since I'm here, I've got to give a little plug for the district as well. So we had a great day today. We were able to distribute 9 U.S. News and World Report Best School Awards to our schools, elementary and middle schools. The California League of Educators just released the schools to watch list for this year, and all 3 of our middle schools are on that list. And last week, the College Board just named HMSA, Hawthorne Math and Science Academy, as a Platinum Advanced Placement Honor Roll School, which is their highest level award. So fantastic things that are happening there across all of our schools, in addition to some things to come. So we are opening our second health clinic, hopefully by the end of March. So we'll be sure to keep you posted there through our partnership with Venice Family Clinic, as well as our esports labs, which are going to be state-of-the-art labs, gaming facilities for our students at the middle school and high school level, as well as bringing back overnight camp after over 20 years of not having that experience for our kids. So we're going to be bringing that back in April and giving them the experience they deserve, outdoor overnight experience. So pleased to be able to share that with you. And as I always say, when the partnership is strong between the city and the school district, our kids and community win. And I want to thank you for keeping that partnership strong with us and let you know how grateful we are.
Congratulations, all of those achievements.
Congratulations. I'm excited for the health clinic.
Thank you.
Jose Ochoa, Senator Richardson's, Laura Richardson's office. Hi.
Hello there, Mayor and Council. I wanted just to share some of the Senator Richardson's committee assignments for this year. So she's going to be on the standing committees of appropriations, banking and financial institutions, budget and physical review. She's going to be the chair of Budget Subcommittee 5 on corrections, public safety, judiciary, labor, and transportation. She'll also be on energy, utilities, and communications, governmental organization, insurance, and transportation. Senator Richardson will also be on 2 joint committees, the Joint Committee on Arts and Joint Legislative Budget Committee. And the senator will also be on the Special Committee on International Sporting Events, which includes the Olympics and the World Cup. Let's see, I also wanted to add, if anyone needs assistance is reaching out to any state department, you can reach out to our office. We're able to request updates on your case or answer any questions you may have. Some common departments are DMV, EDD, and the Department of Insurance. Let's see, also wanted just to mention that today I attended on behalf of Senator Richardson the Alley Improvement Project groundbreaking at 10 a.m. It was a very great event, well attended. If you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to my email. It'll be jose.ochoa@sen.ca.gov, or you can call our district office. It's going to be number 310-217-4728. And our main office is the one on 190th and Vermont. That's in the Harbor Gateway, but we have a satellite office in the city of Inglewood. That one is we only have one person there on Tuesday. So if you need to reach us, the main office is the number I had right here. Okay, thank you so much for letting me speak.
Thank you, sir. David Smith.
Hey, y'all. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I apologize for my casual attire. I only just heard about this like 2 hours ago, so I rushed over here after making dinner. My name is David Smith. I actually live near the proposed Cordray apartment site. I support adding housing and want to see it done in a way that it truly strengthens the surrounding neighborhoods. Strong neighborhoods are places where people can walk to everyday needs, not just places where people can sleep. That means considering ground floor storefronts with neighboring neighborhood serving uses like cafes, family-friendly dining, and fitness and wellness spaces. These types of uses create activity on the streets, improving walkability, and make the area a place where people can actually want to spend time. I'm also concerned about spillover parking in the Bodger Park area on nearby residential streets and on Dottie. Recently, parking markings were placed in the area without prior notice to the residents, and people are worried that this may be in preparation for overflow parking from those apartments. Residents of the Cordray apartments should not have to walk blocks away to get to their homes and should be provided adequate parking in that area for those Cordray apartments. So I would hope that there would be parking structures or something for to fulfill these needs. My request is that the council direct staff to place Cordray Apartments on a future agenda item with reasonable notice, preferably by mail, for residents to attend with a full public staff report that covers parking ratios, traffic impacts, infrastructure capacity, and a specific spillover parking analysis for the Bodger space. In that staff report, I would hope to see evaluation of mixed-use design as well for these apartment complexes, for ground floor storefronts, as I mentioned previously. I'm sure this analysis has actually been done, but just isn't readily available for residents, and would love to see that if possible. I appreciate you guys giving me time to even speak today, so please, if you could follow up with my request, I would really appreciate it. So, thank you guys.
Are you in the Bonita Gardens area or in the Bodger Park area?
Bodger Park.
Okay, thank you. All right. Thank you for expressing your concern. Anybody else wishing to address the city council? Form a line. Last week, this came up a long time ago. Right. No, go ahead. Yeah, you could go ahead.
You guys can hear me all right? To the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Liliana Salvatierra, and I am speaking on behalf of my father's business, J&A Windows and Doors, on 3750th El Segundo Boulevard. We're right on Dottie and El Segundo. I'm not sure if that's a draw to our business or not, but it's why I'm here. One of the duties I'm responsible for is tackling big projects that have gone to the wayside since my parents' separation. J is my dad, A is my mom. And while most of the office speaks English, there have been many occasions where the language barrier between staff, vendors, and clients have resulted in physical consequences. So in our line of work, the wrong detail left unattended to becomes costly. When I say physical consequences, I mean like a surplus in material, things that aren't paid for correctly. And in this instance, one of them is the balances that we have with the city of Hawthorne. This past month, I've been in weekly contact with City Hall to sort out and settle various invoices in regards to public works, taxes, and licensing. I've been advocating and making progress on the business's behalf to where we are overpaying, underpaying, and overdue. So far, we've been invoiced a total of $1,749 by the city of Hawthorne, primarily for business licensing and taxes. This may seem more normal and expected. If we want to do business in the city of Hawthorne, and earn a certain amount of revenue and are behind on payments, we can expect to pay a certain amount of money. However, and this is one of the things I need to figure out, like, why are we paying for this in the first place? Because we don't do business in this, well, we do business in the city of Inglewood. That's one of the things I have to research. But when the city of Inglewood charged us to renew our business license, it was $4. Why is it that the city of Hawthorne is charging us past the state mandated fee of $4 to be in compliance with SB 1186, which is a California measure to ensure employment and compliance for accessibility needs? Accessibility is something I really value. I'm really glad to be putting money towards it. $4 does not seem like a lot to be putting towards it, but it's like, why is the city of Hawthorne charging us a surplus of $1,000? What seems to be a surplus of $1,000 and $16? When we're not really in a position to be spending that money loosely. Because the other kicker is that after going back and forth with public services about a huge mess in billing and bins that actually do not and do need to be on our property to be in compliance with SB 1383, the city of Hawthorne has invoiced the business $60 for not needing to have a green bin on our property. Yes, $60 annually is cheaper than paying nearly $75 a month for a service that I actually like to do for free. But once again, I'm wondering why are we being charged $60? I know the light is on and my time's up, but that's pretty much my main point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. A couple of quick comments. Thank you to the neighbor from Bodger Park. I'm in the Monita Gardens area. I drove by the Corderi project many, many times, as recently as late this afternoon. And right now, if you drive by there, the area in front of that property is totally filled with junked furniture piled up on the sidewalk. You cannot pass it. And if you look inside the enclosure, it is completely covered with graffiti. So there needs to be some work done there. The other thing is, and this is awkward, and I apologize for the Licata people, I really wanted to hear your presentation, because the main thing that I got up here to say about is that I was extremely uncomfortable with the presentation by the Los Angeles Dream Center, and I'm very, very adamantly opposed to a memorandum of understanding with them. If they get a memorandum of understanding with the City of Hawthorne, it appears to be an endorsement by the City of Hawthorne. And I think, while I have no problem whatsoever with faith-based organizations, many of you know I am lay clergy in a non-Christian religion. I am extremely in favor of the Establishment Clause, and I do not think that we should be crossing the line between church and state. I think that what they're doing sounds like it's deceptive. They are masquerading as a service provider, whereas what they're actually doing is proselytizing, because their services are predicated on accepting Jesus Christ. And that is, I believe, very much something that the City of Hawthorne should not be involved in appearing to support. What people do to get into their own kind of recovery, I think there are many, many different paths to this. But pretending to provide services when what you're actually doing is saying you have to attend church services, you have to read the Bible, you have to believe what we believe, that's wrong. It's wrong. Please give some thought to this. Thank you.
Next person, please.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council members, and Von Norris and Attorney, everybody else. Good evening. For years, residents have raised concerns, ongoing safety concerns, and many of us feel those concerns have been consistently overlooked. This is not a new issue. It's been happening for a long time, and it affects our quality of life and our sense of safety in our neighborhood. I want to be clear that supporting services for homelessness, addictions, and mental health is important. Compassion and assistance absolutely matter. However, public safety must remain prioritized alongside those efforts. We have to acknowledge that appears to be a regulatory gap. To my understanding, the City of Hawthorne does not have a specific municipal code that limits how many registered sex offenders can reside on a single residential property. If I'm wrong, let me know, but this raises concerns about oversight, enforcement, and neighborhood safety. I would appreciate clarification from this council on whether any policies address this issue. I would also like to acknowledge and thank the Hawthorne Police Department very much so for the work that they are doing to respond to these concerns on top of their regular police duties. Their efforts are recognized and appreciated by the residents. Residents are not asking for a lack of compassion. We are asking for balanced, meaningful help for those in need, along with clear and enforceable safety protections for the community. After years of expressing these concerns, we are simply asking the council to take resident safety seriously and address these gaps in transparency and action. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person, please.
Good evening. Ruben Sanchez, North Hawthorne Community Association. Wanted to mention in regards of our meeting, upcoming meeting for the North Hawthorne Community Association is going to be March 2nd. We invited everyone from North Hawthorne, obviously everyone from all other areas. It's obvious that the community and the residents need to take a hold of what's going on, because there's no conversations when it comes to commerce. And we have to have that serious conversation. We have over 100 and so, you guys have been talking about homeless ever since COVID. And we got more homeless support than we have vagrants on the streets right now. Because if you were to go out there to 118th and Hawthorne Boulevard, they all linger around, and those counts. what are those counts being taken? Are they taken at night or in the day? Because it's different numbers depending on the day of the hours. That's something that needs to be looked at. But obviously, the whole show is about just bringing people in support and helping Kumbaya, and I get that. And we do need to support them, and we have supporting. But what about the community? What about the stores? What about the businesses in our community? No one has that conversation. Hell, you guys couldn't even talk about the code of conduct. Somebody disappeared over there, another person abstained. So we have to have that serious conversation. So we're gonna have to take it our own. We're gonna be speaking to people. We're gonna be seeing, maybe we can get some support from Vaughn or David in regards, and start talking about bringing some real business into the city. We have to take this initiative because we're gonna be having the Olympics, we're gonna be having FIFA out here, we're gonna have the World Cup. No one has had any conversations about that. We've been spending so many meetings about homeless, so many meetings about code of conduct. We've wasted so much time. People are upset. The residents are upset. Right now, I got pictures of vagrants taking a dump in somebody's yard, but yet we're supposed to be helping. What about the ones that don't want the service? Huh? What is your conversation about that? About the people that do not want the service? The ones that are lingering around on the streets causing chaos. You have no conversation about that. We have to call the cops. Yeah, they'll call the cops. The minute they find out is a vagrant or a homeless, it's a whole different route. They want to coddle, which you guys need to start setting boundaries. You say, we can't do nothing if they don't want to. No, you can set up boundaries. We're going to have $1 million homes right here in the corner. You guys think that they're going to want to come and spend $1 million surrounded by homeless people? At least start working on commerce, because we are. You know, so I'm just letting you guys know we're opening up that conversation, that dialogue, and it's time. This is a new year, new North Hawthorne, and we're ready to go and do something good for our community. Thank you very much. Have a blessed night.
Thank you. Next person, please.
Yes. My name is Richard Harrison, to our esteemed mayor, mayor pro tem, and city council. So I have thank yous, and then I have an ask. I know a thank you is shocking, but I do have thank yous. So first of all, I want to thank you, Johnson. Thank you for what you did last week. You know, I really appreciate that. I mean, I think, you know, the fact of being a lone wolf, and you mentioned about, you know, what had happened to me and Pastor Mayor, I appreciate that. That doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you, Mayor, for keeping this thing structured. I think these meetings are very dear to our heart. You know, your number one job is constituent services, so we get a chance to interact with you, so thank you for keeping it structured. And I want to thank the Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you for spending an hour on the phone with me arguing and not giving me anything I wanted. You know, it's okay. I want to thank Vaughn. I came to Vaughn last week, and I wanted to, you know, ask some questions about enforcement and public works. So he said, I sit in on his meetings, and I'll get back to you. So I was expecting, I know he's busy. He's supposed to get back to you about a week. I had an email the next day. He hooked me up with Mike Purcell, the code enforcement officer. We had a great conversation that Friday about all the work he's doing and, you know, and the work I'm doing in it. So anyway, thank you to you guys. You know, we got to give you guys a shout out when you guys are doing good. So these are a couple of things that I had mentioned to the mayor. So I'm respectfully asking the city council to consider my adoption in ordinance in amending Title II of the Hawthorne Municipal Code to create two committees. One is the HPWC, the Hawthorne Public Works Commission, with a project pilot of ADP 26. The reason I'm asking that is because for the last year and a half, I've been doing pretty much what the Hawthorne Public Works Commission would do. You know, knocking on doors, reporting back to you guys, going to businesses, tell them they're the one that's dumping, doing everything I can to get that area cleaned up. So I think a commission, so we can actually infuse the public in with council and with staff. And simply, obviously, it would just be advisory, right? So it would just be performance reporting around sanitation, right-of-way conditions, infrastructure, accountability, things of that nature. Also, there's also a second commission, I kind of mentioned this in passing, was the Hawthorne Business Innovation Commission. So what I did with these two commissions, I looked at comparable cities. Comparable cities have these commissions, right? And they're doing, and it's really helping the city, so why doesn't Hawthorne have them? So the Hawthorne Business Innovation Commission, won't just be this reactive committee. It'll be more proactive. So, for example, we would for example, say, hey, let's advertise in the LA Business Journal. I saw Palmdale in here. Now you can see, we see Hollywood and Burbank and those real rich cities. When I saw Palmdale in here, I said, why is Hawthorne not advertising in the LA Business Journal about our blighted business corridor, right? Calling businesses and recruiting them. I was talking to Pat over the chamber, and she said she's actually recruiting people. So anyway, please consider my form of adoption of these committees. Thank you. And that form is
Thank you, sir.
Right there. Thank you.
Anybody else wishing to? Anybody else wishing to address the council? If not, I declare oral communications close ordered. All right, let's take a look. Thank you all the residents who addressed the council. City Clerk's consent calendar, is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have 4 items on the consent calendar. Items 5 through 8 for your consideration and approval. Item 5, the Finance Department on the City Treasurer's behalf requests approval of the warrants. Item 6, approval of City Council meeting minutes for the regular City Council meeting of February 10th, 2026. Item 7, approval of waiver of full readings of resolutions and ordinances on Tuesday, February 24th, 2026 agenda. Item 8, resolution number 8589, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Hawthorne, California, to authorize the City of Hawthorne to apply for the pro-housing designation from the California Department of Housing and Community Development. That
I
concludes.
move.
Second, please vote.
One moment.
Councilwoman Manning?
The votes are in.
Yeah, go ahead, ma'am.
Voting reflects mayor and council voting yes.
Okay, let's go kind of slow. I want to make sure we don't miss anything important here. Ordinances. Can you read item 9, please?
Yes. Ordinance number 2261, the first reading, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hawthorne, California, amending Chapter 10.36, Stopping, Standing, and Parking, of Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, of the Hawthorne Municipal Code to establish parking, meter zones, operations, fees, and procedures for introduction.
I'll introduce.
Great. Thank you, sir. Just a simple introduction is all that's needed. City Manager's consent calendar. Ms. City Clerk, could you read it on his behalf?
City Manager's consent calendar, items 10 through 18. Item 10, Retiree Health Care Plan, June 30th, 2025, GASBS 75 Disclosure Report. Item 11, Annual Comprehensive Financial Report of the City of Hawthorne for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2025. Item 12, Approval of Memorandum of Understanding with the Los Angeles Dream Center for Homelessness Response Collaboration. Item 13, approval of agreement with Licata for homeless outreach and related services, appropriation of $100,000 from opioid settlement funding. Item 14, progress payment number 2 in the amount of $167,152.50 due to Germax Construction Incorporated of San Fernando, California for Holly Park restroom renovation, Project 2507. Item 15, first amendment to the agreement between the City of Hawthorne and MNS Engineers Incorporated. Item 16, acquisition of a portable self-contained camera system for deployment in areas experiencing spikes in SB 1383, illegal dumping and contamination areas. Item 17, progress payment number 7 in the amount of $905,942.73 is due to Martinez Landscape Company Incorporated of Sylmar, California for the City of Hawthorne New City Yard, Project 24-02. Item 18, Hero Housing Empowerment, Recovery, and Outreach Community Service Memorandum of Understanding. Mr. Mayor, that concludes the City Manager's consent calendar. May I have a motion to approve?
I move.
Items 10 through 18.
Yes, ma'am, I move.
Second.
Okay, everyone please vote.
Who's second?
We'll give it to Councilwoman Faye Johnson. You missed it.
I'm sorry, to the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to go ahead and pull item 12. However, I'll vote on everything else. However, I'm going to be abstaining on item 12.
Can she do that, Mr. City Attorney? At this point, since we already have a motion, a second, or just?
That's fine.
Okay.
She can abstain.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm sorry, City Clerk? registered. Thank you so much.
The votes are in. Voting reflects mayor and council voting yes. Angie Reyes English abstaining from item, which item was it?
12.
12. Thank you.
Okay, brief comment on number 12. Not discussion at this point, it's brief comment. I just want to highlight for the community that in our country, it's been faith-based organizations, primarily, and the great majority of these organizations being Christian, that have offered services such as hospitals, orphanages, welfare, just helping people out in the community, universities, education. So I think that just speaks to the, the value of these faith-based organizations. And I think we actually need a heck of a lot more of them to, be able to do a lot of the great work that we do. And they've been a backbone in serving the community and those that have been most in need. So I know there was comments that were made earlier from one of the residents, and we accept all the comments, but I think the main thing there, I think that the resident had was that this was a Christian organization, and I think those particular comments highlighted that their dissatisfaction because this was a Christian organization. Nonprofits, churches can have the social arm to them as well, social welfare arm to them, and serve in the community. Okay, so that's all. That's not. There's not a reason that a municipality, a state government, or can work with one of these faith-based organizations. So I think the main issue with there, and I slightly take offense to it, is that the comments were the fact that it was a Christian organization. Maybe I invite that individual who spoke earlier to talk to people from her religious persuasion to maybe come up with a social charity of their own that we can embrace and that we can incorporate into our municipal operations as an additional resources. In the absence of none, you can't really talk. So I think let's just continue and embrace this. And respectfully, I know council member, somebody abstained up here, and that's okay. That's okay. But I just wanted just to say, hey, I support our faith-based organizations. So that's it.
To the
Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you. So the reason for my abstention is basically what I requested. Their 5013C documents be filed with the city clerk's office. So in fact, they are a nonprofit organization and not just hearsay. And I will be discussing something around that myself later on today. It's not that I don't support faith-based organizations, having a father-in-law who is a father-in-law and uncle, Reverend English, Reverend Reuben, and churches that I participate in my family's history, that has nothing to do with it. It's just what I requested, which is the documents of the 513C, so it could be filed with the city clerks, and I could be assured that they're in fact registered with the state. Thank you.
Your points are well taken. Thank you for highlighting that. My comments were not directed, were directed primarily to the comments made during oral communications, which we have a reserved right to do. Okay, so city attorney's consent calendar. Huh?
Nothing.
Oh, jeez.
There are no items.
Our city attorney's keeping us out of situations, so that's great. That's, oh, look at that. We have a discussion item. Oh, well, go ahead. Discussion items, go ahead. I think you might have something, Ms. City Clerk. Go ahead. All right.
For the record, item 20 will be moved to another day.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Hawthorne Municipal Airport News and Developments, Councilman Faye Johnson. Go ahead, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. I want to talk a little bit about issues that are going on at the airport concerning noise and things like that. As a council person, I'm actually privy to conversations that maybe the public, well, I know the public's not privy to. And what I want, what I'd like to do is to take a moment to address communications regarding the Hawthorne Municipal Airport and the ongoing activities our residents are noticing. And as we all know, there are FAA-related projects, development activities, and continued questions surrounding noise and the airport operation. Our community deserves clear, accurate, and accessible information. So what I'd like to propose tonight, that we create a dedicated airport information tab on the front page of our city's website. And this page would include information about FAA updates on projects, notices, information on noise studies, new development updates, a clear explanation of what the city can and can't enforce under aviation regulations. And that's part of some of the challenges that I see, is that people are angry with the city, but the city has no control over what they're angry about, or they're angry calling the airport, but they don't understand once that plane takes off, their FAA now has that responsibility. So this is information that I'm privy to that I want you guys to have, so that you can ask, you can get a lot of your questions answered, but you can ask more relevant questions that can actually get you to a solution. I'd also like to have a straightforward process for residents to submit their concerns on this webpage. This is about transparency. It's about making sure that residents understand the difference between federal authority and local authority, while also ensuring that they know we are listening. I'm respectfully asking for my colleagues' support in directing staff to move forward with creating this centralized information hub, providing clarity, reduces misinformation, builds trust, and strengthens our communication with the community. I believe this is a responsible and proactive step, and I hope I can count on your support.
To the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Councilwoman Johnson, I respect your request. I was recently at the same meeting you were. I was just a little bit late. And I do agree that communication to the residents was something that the residents were asking me. And one of the things that I took out the time to ask them is, how do you want us to communicate? Because a lot of information about what's going on is already on our website. And so I think your suggestion of putting it at the forefront when they go directly onto the website, I guess it'll make it a little bit more easy friendly for them to find that information, as opposed to having to go through multiple pages. One of the things that they suggested was that they started a group, and they specifically asked if the city could email the head of the group, and then she would do an e-blast to all of the residents that were voicing their concerns. And so I'm going to support you on what you're asking, because this was also brought to my attention when I was at the meeting, and the residents were talking about that they like more concern. I would, more communication from the city, but I would also add, or like to ask as well, is there a possibility we could have maybe FAA come and explain their responsibilities? Because the lady that attends the meetings, she's just an outreach communication person, and she says, I'm just there to take your questions, but I don't know how to answer them. So having somebody that could actually answer those FAA questions would be really beneficial.
Okay. Can you ask that through Councilwoman Johnson, since it was her items?
Councilwoman Johnson, if I could ask you to add, if we could have an actual representative that understands their policy, if they could come and specifically explain what their responsibility is and what as opposed to our responsibility.
Will do, thank you.
How are you doing? You completed?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for the point of information. If we're gonna ever just go in, cut in with the point of information, we just have to keep it as brief as possible, okay? But thank you. It's your turn?
I'm done.
Oh, that was yours?
She was commenting on the item.
Yeah.
Are we done discussing it?
Anybody else?
Yeah, I have a
Oh,
question.
no, I'm sorry. I made a mistake on that. There was something else. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, to the chair.
Yes.
Don't we, I don't know, Vaughn, maybe I could ask you, or IT, I kind of feel like I'm not trying to go away from the concerns of the community with regards to airport operations and noise issues. However, that's not the first thing I want to see when I click on the website. That's my question. Because obviously, you know, we just developed a new website, and I know there's clicks that we could do that show like various operations in our city, which is, you know, Public Works, Police Department, planning, you know. And I know there's an operations button, right? There's an operations button. If that landing, say at that operation page, could be like maybe a disclosure at the bottom of the page that says, you know, should you have a noise concern? Because there's, I would say noise more than anything else, right? Because I hear them all the time, the constituents. And then at that point, maybe a link to where they should fill out the complaint. But I don't necessarily believe it should be the, you know, the onset of our website. Does that make sense? Yeah.
So discussion on my behalf. I think at different times there's issues that rise to the level of importance, just depending on what's happening with urgency. So I think this is something that you both have experienced, Councilwoman Faye Johnson and Councilwoman Katrina Manning, and I think since it's relevant right now, I think you can have different buttons on the home pages that highlight certain things of immediate concern and recent concern to the community. I think things can be rotated in and out. You could always have that under a drop-down menu, but it could, I believe that if this is an immediate concern, people looking at it and asking about it, you know? People asking about some of the other items that were brought up here, and as you got a million people coming to council meeting, let's say, we want to have that there for them to be able to see. And then it could be shifted out and et cetera.
To the chair.
Yes.
I think the reason that we have seen an increase in residents is because of Archer being here and people really not fully understanding that Archer is not operating right now. So some people that are coming to complain are hearing the noise and assuming that it's Archer, and Archer is not operating their planes just yet. So you just see a increase in residents that are coming to this airport meeting to voice their concerns about noise.
No, thank you. And I always kind of bring it back. My parents moved into 120th in York, knowing that the airport was there, and they moved in 1974. So we've always known that it's an airport. We knew it was going to be an airport, and my dad bought this property, knowing that's an airport. So I know there's concerns, but I think right now we need to be responsive.
Do stuff and they say, I don't think it's going to be that loud. And then they get there and they're like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be like this.
But Archer, I mean, that's, well, yeah.
Through the chair.
Yeah, but okay, go ahead. Sir.
All these ideas are good, but remember, we've been dealing with this issue for almost 100 years, since the airport was established. Now, FAA, believe it or not, does not respond to municipals, government, they respond to the federal government. So if you need somebody to come from FAA to come to us, you need to go through the Congresswoman Maxine Waters, because they answer to Congresswoman more than the municipal government, because the FAA is a federal aviation that does things almost independently. Even sometimes they don't listen to Congress themselves or even to the President of the United States. So And even Ms. Valentine sitting right there on the audience could tell you that she's been trying to deal with that airport thing for a long time. And we have not been able to get answers, to tell you the truth. So that's what I'm saying. It is a delicate issue that people, even those people over there on 120 in Van Ness, have to sign a disclosure when they bought those townhomes on the Park Village, that they realized that that was a flight path of the airport. So unfortunately, we could talk about this issue and people can still come and complain to us, but believe it or not, we don't have a solution. That's the whole truth. We don't. So we would have to have FAA actually give us a solution. But like I said, sometimes they don't reply to the municipal government. They actually might have a little gesture to the Congress people.
To the chair.
Yes, response, I see. Go ahead.
Yes, since it's my topic. What we're putting on the website are not solutions. It's information. So we're not trying to solve something, because if we could have solved it, we would have solved it at this point. But I believe that information will calm down all the uprising that we're getting right now. The second thing about FAA not responding to municipalities, that may be true in some instances, but it's not true in this instance, because we have an airport. We're allowed to pick up the phone and talk to FAA and get information from the FAA. So I just wanted to make that clarification.
Brief response on my behalf. I understand what you're saying, and I understand what my colleague over here is saying to my left. But ultimately, it's the FAA that determines the hours of operation. They determine the flight paths. I mean, we can give them as much feedback and pick up the phone as many times as we want, and they're still going to do what they're going to do. We have to acknowledge that, and we have to be real. This is the. I know people come to the council meeting and they're telling us, and what can we do? What can we? We can't do anything. We can inform them that it's the FAA's responsibility on this thing. We just need to be honest and not try to have like a DJ or who's over there who's over there?
Guido Hernandez.
Guido try to like okay, I'm gonna work on it. No, and the reality is it's the FAA. We can listen, but having all these meetings, I think it's a false. We're putting ourselves a responsibility that it's not ours. It's the FAA. So I just think we need to be very careful with that. But like you lady said, my council member colleagues, is giving them the information. Just be truthful, and not give any false hopes on behalf of the city that we can solve this issue, sir.
And to the chair, it's not true that the Archer aircraft actually is going to be like much more silenced than the regular airplanes, because those are going to be like electric batteries, so it's going to be almost like a silent, like when you have your Tesla of the vehicles that don't make no noise. That's the same thing is going to happen with those Archers aircraft. So don't be afraid, don't be alarmed, have faith, and that's what we try to bring. Business to Hawthorne, commercial business to Hawthorne, despite some comments that we're not trying to, but every day we over there lobbying for business.
To the chair?
Yes.
So it's funny that you mentioned that. One of the things that I suggested while we were at the meeting is that once their aircraft is operable, that they invite the residents to see and hear the aircraft take off, so that they can actually witness for themselves that it doesn't make the noise that they believe it makes. And Archer agreed that they can make that happen when their aircraft is available.
Yeah.
To the chair.
Yes.
So I'm going to bring this back up as a directive, and I believe that the FAA presentation isn't to present solutions. It's just merely to come in and present information. All we're talking about tonight is information, not solutions, because we have none.
So I just
Thank
think
you, sir.
The more we're honest with the residents and not try to take more, responsibility for this thing, where we just can't. We just need to be truthful. Okay. Okay, so now we have item 21. Mayor Pro Tem Montero and Councilmember Manning?
Don't we vote? Do we supposed to
No,
vote?
oh, no, wait a minute. Actually,
Oh, it's
that's
gonna
going to be a directive.
Okay.
It's going to go outside of this item. 21, Mayor Pro Tem Montero, Councilmember Manning.
Go ahead.
Whoever wants to start. Yeah, go ahead, man.
No, I'll give it to you.
All right, thank you for your kindness. Anyway, so you know that every year the fair housing have like a fair housing monthly, because the fair housing Right Center, you know, usually provides a lot of resources to our community, and we have a partnerships with them for a long, long, long time, because that is where when people feel they are discriminating and that the issue is not being dealt with the landlords, that's a place that they can go, and it's a nonprofit, it's free, so they help dispute issues between tenants and landlord. And so they are requesting us to give them a proclamation to celebrate the housing fair monthly. And I think also, because I think they have like a milestone this year, they collaborate. It was like 50 years in service? Something like that. So, but they're just asking for a proclamation, and since we decide that if a proclamation is going to go outside of this chamber, it had to be approved by the 5.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add, as a real estate agent, it is my fiduciary responsibility to make sure that folks are not discriminating when people want to buy houses. And so I am very excited that we get to do this on today, Black History Month, when we as Black people were discriminated against. We were not able to own property. And so to be able to do this proclamation in this month on this day is definitely an honor for me. And so, yes, we are asking our other colleagues to support us in the proclamation for this Fair Housing Month. Thank you.
No, I really appreciate you bringing this up, because fair housing is we need to make sure that we stand with that effort. But true fair housing, unfortunately, I think our state has allowed for developers to build this housing that they could easily disguise as affordable and not truly follow through with it. So they can build. They ask for reductions in parking spaces. So it's like you can't even park your car. There's zero parking for some of these units, half of parking space for some of them, and they say, okay, it's affordable, and it's just to get there. I think this Wiener guy up there, State Senator Wiener's I hope he just leaves and goes somewhere else. But I don't know why they listen to him or the whole legislature up there. But this guy and everybody else who's agreed with them have made it very easy for people to build, but build smaller units, less quality, less parking, and at market rate. Developers are getting away with charging market rate housing. The ladies up here nodding. It's true. So I think I support this proclamation, and I definitely, ask our elected officials up in Sacramento to really support us with true affordable housing that's fair. Because if not, minorities that didn't have access before are still being X'd out of the housing market. So I think we need to follow through. But thank you, folks.
To the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah, we've had fair housing here in our council chambers, and we've honored them numerous times. And, speaking today, especially on Black History Month, it's important. Fair Housing Month is in the month of April. However, language in the proclamation that just addresses the communities of Black and Brown and those that, have had a struggle for years and years, and I'm not trying to take away from what you said, Councilmember Manning, because, you know, my family's mixed race, so I've got black, brown kids. So I think it's very important that it reflects in the language the great support that we have from this body and the city as a whole. And, you know, whenever you come across something like that, it must be reported, you know, especially that to realtors, or anyone that is responsible, as you say, your judicial duty, because it is still happening. It's out there.
I know.
It's still out there. It's happening. I could tell you a story about the building that I live in that they're trying to sell and intimidating folks, including myself. And ultimately, the sign went down and they never sold it. But having said that, I do appreciate both Mayor Pro Tem Montero and yourself bringing this item to the council. And I would have been okay just doing a proclamation, a certificate, without having to go through the process. But obviously, we got to go through the process. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Sir, Mr. City Attorney, can this be voted on now? All right. Go ahead.
Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, second, sorry.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
The votes are in. Voting reflects mayor and council voting yes.
Thank you guys for bringing it up. This is really important. Thank you. All right, so we're going to start with the elected officials.
Mr. Mayor, we have one more
No.
item 22.
Faye
Oh,
has one.
sorry.
I'm giving away a Tesla, and you
Okay,
forgot
all right,
to
right.
say
Well,
something?
I don't know. No comment. Okay, about Teslas, but go ahead.
Who out here would raise their hand for a free Tesla? Oh yeah, a free car. Come on, guys. Who wants a free car? Okay. Well, we have an opportunity as a city to get one. And so I'm pleased to bring forward a proposal that blends Hawthorne's tradition of community engagement with the innovative spirit that defines our city. And since 1980s, the Gabby, the car that talks, the police car that talks, who's familiar with Gabby, the talking police car? Mayor, are you?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, just making sure, because he's old as,
Gabby.
never mind. He's been around a while,
Whatever you
let's
say.
say.
Okay.
But this car has been one of the most familiar and beloved symbols of the Hawthorne Police Department. From school visits to community fairs, Gabby has helped bridge the gap between our officers and residents, especially for our young people. Over the years, countless families have met the Gabby car first as a Chevy Caprice, then later as a Ford Crown Victoria. But as time has passed, maintaining that legacy vehicle has become increasingly difficult. The department has long wanted to modernize Gabby into a new model like a Ford Explorer or something like that. But the funding just hasn't been there to make it happen. That's why I'm excited to share that we now have a unique opportunity to bring Gabby into a new era and do it entirely at no cost to the city of Hawthorne. SpaceX, one of our city's most recognized employers, has approached the department with a partnership proposal teaming up with another local company, Upfit Performance, to design and donate a fully customized Tesla Cybertruck for Hawthorne PD Community Affairs Division. SpaceX will fund the entire project, including the fabrication and outfitting work completed by Upfit right here in Hawthorne. The new Gabby car would serve as a state-of-the-art outreach vehicle, becoming a fixture at school visits, recruitment drives, and community events such as the National Night Out. It will not only honor Gabby's legacy of positive engagement, but also stand as a symbol of Hawthorne's innovation, reflecting our city's reputation as a hub of cutting-edge technology. Just as important, this initiative carries no cost to the city. By transitioning to an electric vehicle, we eliminate both fuel and most maintenance expenses that come with a gas-powered platform. In short, This partnership represents the best of Hawthorne, honoring our history while embracing our future. It's a creative, community-driven solution that keeps tradition alive, strengthens public trust, and showcases what can be achieved when our local institutions and businesses collaborate for good. So this evening, is this a motion that I make now or as a directive?
To accept it?
You're asking the entire council to take action, so it would be a motion during discussion here.
Okay,
And the other council members have a chance to discuss it.
okay.
And yes, any questions can be asked right now.
Yeah.
To the chair.
Yes.
Thank you. We all know that nothing's free. But anyway, I think, Chief, can you come up, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you give us a little synopsis of how this is beneficial to Hawthorne? And in fact, if you could, in fact, without any, in fact, tell us that it's going to be given to us with no ties or any type of,
If it's okay, I'd like Captain Port.
Okay.
He's been facilitating and working with SpaceX and Tesla on
Okay,
this.
thank you.
Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? In addressing your question, we've had a long-term, obvious relationship with SpaceX and their executives. And in going back and forth, we've discussed what our needs have been, what their needs have been, and the different things that we collaborate on. And I think I've heard it from this dais a few times, them to be a little bit more involved with our city and city functions. I was approached about a month ago during a meeting that we usually have with them, where they wanted to provide us fully 100% free on them and a collaboration with Upfit but that's also based here in the city of Hawthorne. For them to outfit it, put it together, and the only thing that we'd actually really be on the hook for is washing it and charging it, and that would be it.
Okay, so I'm assuming it's going to be a contract?
No, it's going to be a gift from them to us.
I know, but how are we receiving the gift? Doesn't it have to be approved by the council?
I think that's what we're here for tonight, ma'am.
I thought there was another step to accepting it with either a contract or an MOU or something like this?
So what the plan was tonight to see what the council's reaction or interest was in this. Captain Port, if it's approved tonight, will work with SpaceX to create some type of donation agreement that will have our in-house attorney review and bring back to the next council meeting for approval.
Please, and if we could also include language that basically says it's actually free and there's no future, how should I say it, request for exchange for services of
costs.
any, yes.
No,
please.
absolutely. You have it. We're working on it right now to have it all spec'd out, to have it represent exactly how much it costs,
Yeah.
what the exact amount would be, and how it's being all priced out. So we'll have that all for you at a later council meeting to be approved for, but I believe this was just to see what the temperature was on receiving such a vehicle.
Okay, thank you. City Attorney, can you also just make sure that the actual third party that the car is gonna be sent to and have the wrap with regards to the logo, Hawthorne logo, also be included there with no strings attached, and it's actually free of service from that third party as well?
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Thank you.
I understand your concern, though, but yeah, me too. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Captain Port. Job well done. And can I make the next request for another donation?
Sure. You want a rocket?
No, I want the Space Link. I want the Starlink. I want free internet for the whole Hawthorne residents. To put me a Starlink in orbit.
Well,
sure.
That's
all right.
Done. Yeah.
So, but we want to say thank you because like I said, we always want to to make sure that the SpaceX and Tesla is a good partner for Zero Hawthorne. So for them to give us a gift is well accepted. So you got my support.
I agree. I think doing something like this is the start of somewhat of a trust fall between the two entities. And if this goes well, I only see this partnership flourishing and going a lot further.
And I'm serious.
Sir, I know you are.
Go ahead.
So are we gonna have a ribbon cutting for this donation?
Absolutely. Figured we could park it right out front, and that's essentially really what it's for. It's a conversation piece. It's you know, do we have the capability to charge it at our station? Sure, but essentially what we could be doing is charging it out in the community, and it's where you start having your interfacing with the community and having that car out there and
Yeah.
causing a conversation. So it really is a no loss to us. It's something that the kids love. I know that Gabby came to my school when I was in preschool. Gabby's come to all my kids' school. I know we've taken Gabby to the chief's school with his kids and everybody else that works here. So it's just pivoting from something that's always made us Hawthorne, but kind of taking it to a modern step.
Absolutely. So, city manager, don't we have 50 EV chargers coming?
Yes, we do.
So we can put it throughout those 50 EV chargers.
Yes, we just need a vote to move forward.
That's right. I was just going to add, Councilmember Johnson, if you want to make your motion, see if there's seconds, so then.
Wait.
Make a motion.
Please make the motion first.
I'd
Slow
like-
down, sir. Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the donation from SpaceX.
I second it. Thank you.
Please vote.
The votes are in. Voting reflects mayor and council voting yes.
And to address Councilwoman Reyes English's concern, we'll find out in a few months if
To
there's
the
something
chair.
else to it.
To the chair. Just for the record, those questions were answered. We're not blindly going into this thinking that, you know,
Well, I mean, this is just,
I want to hear
The
it from the
same-
source. The
All right.
police provided the source. Thank you so much.
okay, so so I think we're good.
the questions were still asked and answered. Thank
All
you.
right. No, let's just slow down.
I didn't say anything to you. I'm not talking to you. You don't need to talk to me either. I'm
Guys,
talking. Point of
You
order.
guys need to stop.
Point of
Stop.
order. Point of order.
I don't want to hit this gavel too many times, but if I have to, I will.
Point of order.
Yes, ma'am.
Point of clarification with the city
No,
attorney.
it's fine. Go ahead, ma'am.
The last vote, were we voting to actually accept the donation, or are we voting
City
to
Clerk,
bring it back?
she has a point of order.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Okay, yes, one council member should speak at a time, please.
Okay, point of order. I was talking. I was stating for the record that I had already asked those questions, that the captain had already asked these questions. Everybody involved has already asked the questions. Nowhere in there am I saying that no one else can ask these questions. I'm just making it clear that they were asked. Thank you.
Point of order.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. And as a council member, I have the right to ask the question again. Thank you.
Point of clarification for the city attorney.
Yes.
Were we voting on accepting the donation or bringing it back?
I heard it as a motion to accept the donation.
Very good. Just want to clarify that.
Okay.
All right.
And I can just tell you, from a legal perspective, as long as it's done for a public purpose and there are no strings attached, it's perfectly legal.
Is everybody good with the point of orders and any statements you wanted to make beforehand? Yeah? Look on, over here too? Oh, okay, she does, okay. That was item 22. And for clarification, when I said that, I mean, because I don't know what I sparked or what, but we'll find out in a few months. It's just I'm just always kind of questioning things too. Okay, so. But thank you, ladies, for just making your points of information, both of you, okay? All right, so let's move to council directives. Or what are we doing?
Reports first.
Oh, the reports, okay, yeah, so, oh my, can you put numbers next to these? All right. Ms. City Clerk, I'm so sorry for taking away your opportunity, but go ahead, now's your turn.
I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight and for staying around. I want to thank everyone who attended the Black History Month celebration earlier. It was really nice to see so many people come. I want to thank all of the honorees, our educators, and people who touch our children because they are very important people in our community. Want to thank Sergeant Espinoza too for all that he does. He looks so tired. He's probably up at 4 or 5 in the morning and then has to come and stay for the council meeting as well. So I just want to thank him so much for everything that he does. I really do appreciate him. And I also want to let everyone know that the city clerk's website, the city clerk's portion of the website, has been updated. We've been working on this for probably 6 months or so, just to make it easier for people to find things that they need to, public records requests or police reports or whatever it is that they're looking for. They can look on the website. If you go to the city clerk's portion, you'll see I want to, and then there are boxes there. If you hover over the boxes, it'll tell you exactly what you will find when you click on that box. So I invite everyone to please go to the website, check out the city clerk's portion of it. If you have any feedback or questions, please don't hesitate to call my office. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Councilwoman Faye Johnson. We're starting the rotation again.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, everybody, for coming this evening. A couple of announcements from me. The Islamic Center of Hawthorne is welcoming you to their Interfaith Community Dinner for Ramadan, Saturday, February 28th. It's a meet and greet at 5, intro to Islam and Ramadan at 5:15. They're breaking their fast and sunset prayer at 5:50, and dinner is served at 6:20. Also, North Hawthorne Community Association is having their meeting on March 2nd at St. Joseph Hall at 7 p.m., and that's the North Hawthorne Community Association. And back in living color again, which is awesome, our Dodgers Dream Team League registration, and it's online, which is outstanding. We love online, but it's for ages 5 through 12. Registration begins Tuesday, February 17th, and registration ends on Friday, April 3rd. Registration fees are $15, and you can register online for that. And then the City of Hawthorne is also having a Community Services and Public Works Department is presenting the Spring Fest, Earth Day, and Service Provider Fair. And they're going to have paper shredding, e-waste collection, compost, giveaways, goodies, services, and much more. And this is going to be on March 28th at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Memorial Park. And then I'd like to thank Vaughn and your staff for, I did see that you switched out the Veteran of the Year parking space and made it a veteran parking space. Thank you very much. That is the first time I've ever seen a vehicle parked in that spot. And there was one there today, so that's good. We're using that parking space. So we do have parking dedicated to a veteran-only parking spot. So thank you. And then thank you, Councilmember Katrina Manning, for bringing the LA Metro out. That was great information. And thank you to the police department and Licata for all that you do for the community. We appreciate that. And that's it for me.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilwoman Katrina Manning, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say thank you all for coming out tonight. I truly enjoy Metro's presentation. Thank you so much for that. I also want to say thank you for the Licata presentation. It was really heartwarming, and it felt good to hear those numbers, the improvements of what we've been able to do. And thank you so much, Chief, for preparing already for the Olympics. Having that forward thinking is why we're so grateful to have you. So you guys know, don't ask no questions. He got you, right? So he got you, and we're going to be well prepared when all of these events come. And so, as you can see, we're continuously not only helping our homeless population, but from all of the presentations and all of the conversations that we've had tonight, we're helping everybody in our city. We're making sure that we're doing our work, right? So some of you say we're not, but just pay attention. We are doing the work. I know sometimes it can look different, but we are doing the work, and I'm so glad to be able to participate in today's event, which was such a heartwarming event. I want to give kudos to our city clerk, Dana Hunter. Thank you, Dana. The guest speaker was amazing. And just to hear her talk about what her family went through is so gut-wrenching, right? And you can just actually visualize being there. So having her speak about what happened, thank you so much. I also like to say thank you to Mayor Pro Tem Alex Montero for continuing to honor our community and the work of our teachers and letting people know, as Dr. McCarrion said, we see you and we appreciate you, and we want to continue to make sure that our residents know that we see them. Also, I wanted to talk about real quickly, I had an opportunity along with the mayor, we attended the ICA conference, and one of the things that they talked about, and I want to also give kudos to Chantel Dickinson and the mayor for following up and actually signing a contract for our short-term rentals. I had an opportunity to meet the contractor, our vendor, and he talked about that we had 136 short-term renters that are not paying taxes in the city. And so they were able to do a scan of our city and let us know that information. And so that's something that we have been missing out on revenue. And now, because of the efforts of our team, we're now going to be receiving that revenue. So at our conference, we talked about the TOT, but more importantly, and I'll come back with this, is cyber threat. They talked about the importance of, cyber threat. And I know that the mayor will probably expand on that, but they mentioned many things that we should be doing to prepare because of the Olympics and because of all the things that are coming. That's a possibility that they could come in and do cyber threats to our city. And so I wrote that information down, and I'm going to share that with our staff so that we prepare and make sure that we prepare. Although I know that where are you at? I know you got it. I know he's on top of it, but it's always great to have additional information. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilwoman Angie Reyes English, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of other reminders, and one especially today, thank you so much to Mayor Pro Tem Montero and to Dana for your work on our Black History Month celebration here in Hawthorne. There was great participation from the community. I saw that first, and so that says a lot, right? They look for our leadership with regards to recognizing the much diverse city that we have, and so it was good to do that. And I'm proud of that too, as I mentioned, a blended family and just being able to educate my 8 grandchildren with regards to how favorable they are having two cultures. And just talking about it is interesting to hear them talk about it to me and what that means to them. And they're very little, so they're very bright to understand that they are mixed. So thank you so much for that. And I also want to let the community know, but more importantly, I think our employees here in Hawthorne, we're having a Black History Month by wearing Black History attire, and that's February 27th. And so just something simple, just to acknowledge your support for our Black history, rich history, would be wonderful to see in action and have a picture of that from Channel 22, Vaughn. I also would like to make mention the water aerobics classes here at our pool. Again, our pool is very popular. Make sure to contact our Department of Community Services so that you could know exactly the cost and the hours of our water aerobic classes. Art Festival, Thursday, May 7th from 5 to 8. That's at the Hawthorne Memorial Center. I think these are wonderful classes that we offer through our Rec and Parks, and encourage that. I want to acknowledge all the presenters today. Thank you for your time. I know it's sometimes challenging to have to come and participate in a presentation, but the community, the people here in Hawthorne that live here and work here and play here each and every day is important to us, so that we could provide them information that is needed to them. And this is something we constantly want to do by bringing presenters and bringing partnerships and folks that want to engage with the city of Hawthorne and what that means for the community. And my role is basically to assure that those folks that come and offer either proposals or MOUs and things like this, is that not only if they're vetted, and I do appreciate staff, but it's important to me to know that they're actually, nonprofit organizations, and that's going to lead into another discussion that I have. But let me just also make mention to staff. Thank you for everything that you do each and every day. Today I participated along with Mayor Pro Tem an alley improvement project on 126 in Crenshaw. It's a T alley. It's right next to Prairie. I'm sorry, Prairie. 126 in Prairie, and it's close to the chicken, what is it called? Okay, yeah, so it's great because it's a T alley, and ever since I could remember driving down that alley, it has great big potholes and things like this, and so it's going to be upgraded to cement, and it's going to be great, and it's going to have longevity, which is important for all of us, and that's some 35 projects that Public Works is putting in the pipelines for our cities, and that includes anything from, streets to potholes to curbs to sidewalk repair to tree trimming to bulky item pickup. And these are the things that matter to me most, to assure that the people of Hawthorne see each and every day the hard work that we're making to beautify our city and to keep that beautified. Again, anyone wanting to report anything is to use our 311 chat box so that you could report your issue, and we could get to that as quickly as we can. City manager, is it possible to get a legal confidential with regards to nonprofit organizations? I know that there are a lot of lists of, the Exhibit A list that we provide a check to, when folks come up here and they're asking for support, and the city oftentimes provides them support, either, us up here or whatnot. A legal confidential with regards to being actually registered with the Secretary of State and being in good standing, because I know that I've had lots of searches that I do because of the work that I do with regards to casework, and oftentimes when we have nonprofits come in and asking for funding, they're not registered. This is important because it's a disappropriation of funds. When you want to give a donation, or anyone here, to a nonprofit, they have to be legit, because that's misappropriation of funds. And I don't want to be put in a predicament of something like this. I support a lot of organizations, but if they're not nonprofits, they have to tell us so that it could come out of my pocket personally and not through public funds. And I think it was not too long ago, I think Councilmember Johnson alluded to it with regards to checking on what we have on the books. And there's a list of 32, might be a little bit less, because some of them are Hawthorne lead agencies. As the lead agency for the city of Hawthorne, we have events under our belt, which is obviously wouldn't fall into having to search for us, because obviously we're in partnership with those folks. But the minute they start asking for support, either through a check from the city, a donation, it could be in kind, it could be supplies, it could be refreshments, it could be food, that's where it has to kind of like, we need to time out and check for sure to make sure they're legit, because I don't want to be wrapped up in anything that's illegal. But that's the legal confidential I had requested for, so that all of us could look at that.
Point of information for our city attorney. Well, at what point does she make this request? In the next section?
That's correct, under council directives.
Can
Okay.
yeah, okay.
I'll just say ditto.
In the next section, you'll ask for it.
I'm just kidding.
Be glad to support you.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. Yes, it was a great meeting. We started with the Black History Month, celebrating the educators in our community. It's about almost 25 of them that have made a tremendous impact in our students, in our children's lives. So it was great to see them. So thank you again, and thank you, my colleague, Dana Hunter, for helping me set up that, and Vaughn, of course, and Catherine and Ashley. I appreciated all the support. I want to say, if you look at our agenda tonight, actually, we vote in a lot of things, and money that comes to our city that it's not from our general funds. For example, we approve money that come from the South Bay COG, all the 16 cities that going towards case managed and homeless programs. The chief, fantastic idea for that $100,000 for LACADA, so to maintain the service in our city to deal with the homeless and the mental health and some, and it's not just mental health, because like that gentleman Manuel said, they take people off the street and put them in permanent housing, and even like I said, 55 permanent housing. It is a tremendous achievement because we know people sometimes, struggle to pay rent. And that is one of the things that the South Bay COG and all the 16 cities are trying to do, is to prevent people to become homeless because of increase of rents, right? Because right now, if you go look for two-bedroom apartment in Hawthorne, it's almost $3,000. Okay, so and that is where a lot of people are struggling to pay their rent. So what they're trying to do is to pay them 6 months of rent for them not to become homeless. So that's the kind of program that is to preventive them to become homeless, because it's not just mental health, like Mr. Mayor said. People sometimes, even social workers, that sometimes does not get paid enough, and they end up to be homeless, and they cannot pay the rent, they cannot feed their children. So those are the kind of people that we're trying to help. And also, for our police department, we know they're doing a fantastic job. Public safety, yes, is their priority, but homeless also is all of us priority, right? Because if we clean up our streets, if we make sure that we treat these people with compassion, that is the way we're going to bring business into our city, showing that we care about our citizens. We care about fixing our roads, fixing, dilapidated buildings. So this is the kind of thing that we are working on it. So I have to say that we did a lot of things today. We go so fast, motion and improve, but we're bringing resources to Hawthorne every single day. And to talk about a little bit about business and commercial and stuff like that. For example, 2 weeks ago, we did a 2-day seminar with all small business in the city of Hawthorne to get them ready, prepared for the FIFA World Cup, for the Olympics, telling them what to do, like what type of contract they need to be ready, what type of document, legal, profit or non-profit. They have to be ready by January 2027 because they have to have contract with the LA 28 18 months prior to the Olympics. So we tell them what to do. Go to LA28.org, you'll see there is procurement, there is contract. Like Metro, for example, is looking for 3,000 buses. They're even thinking about getting buses from Arizona, from New Mexico. So, but if there is some small business company that have buses here, contact LA28.org, so you will have a contract. So that's the kind of thing we're trying to bring to Hawthorne. We're trying to, incentivize our hotels, right? So we can bring people. We got millions of people that is coming from other countries. And we want them to stay here in Hawthorne. We want them to spend money in Hawthorne because that's the way we're going to generate, transit-oriented taxes. They call TUT, sales tax, right? I want to say thank you to our finance department, Felice, right? Because even our finance is still very good compared to some other cities that are in deficit, but our cities is well managed. And thanks to us, city manager and all the head department working together, from housing, from planning, from the police department, bringing us more resources that we don't need to touch our general fund. So we are actually working for you, okay? despise people coming here and comment, and then they leave without listening what we have to say. And I want to address the Corderi property. Believe it or not, it's going to have parking. Okay, that's for us. Parking is a #1 issue. Any developer that comes to our cities, we are asking them for parking, at least 2 parking spaces for each unit. Okay, it's going to happen there. And that is where today we fit the first reading about parking, because we're trying to come up with solution, because for 40 years, people have been talking about parking. And like Mr. Mayor said, the state now, people can come to our city and say, I'm going to build 400 units with no parking. And we cannot stop them because the state have given them the green light. Because we so-called the transit-oriented, because we have Hawthorne Boulevard, we have the Metro Link on Imperial, on Aviation. And if the developer is half a mile from a bus stop, they can build units with no parking. And our planning department cannot stop them. Okay, so those kind of things that we have to deal over here on a daily basis. And our staff, believe it or not, without them, we don't shine. And that's why we did, the alley improvement project. The Public Works, have 35 different projects, millions of dollars that they have to apply to bring money from Measure A, Measure R, your tax dollar, right? Because they'll take 50 cents here, 25 cents there. But we have to apply for those money. So our staff is over there bringing those money into our city to make sure that we provide all the safety and healthy and beautiful community. And believe it or not, we are trying. People complain about, bulking item. We made our city manager, got more public works to go get those bulking items because we were tired of bulking items. But people still putting bulk items on the street. And there is some trash right there on that Cordero property because that's the apartment buildings. They put couches, they put mattress. But we are trying to solve the issues. And believe it or not, we are not perfect, but we take care of our residents. And we take care of our streets. And our police department has been showing over and over again out there every day. I attend the Coffee with the Cop. They were there at the Starbucks, right? It was a great event. There was some job fair going on right there. I attend the All-Star games. They did a fantastic job. Sergeant Espinoza was cooking hot dogs and hamburgers, right? And building stuff for our children, because sometimes these children don't have other opportunities. They don't have the money to go to the Intuit Dome. So we gave them an experience right there at the Memorial Center, watching the game and having free food. So those are the kind of things that we're doing in this city that goes unrecognized, and then people come over here and attack us, but we are doing our job. And if you think that we're not, run for office. Become a council member, and then maybe you do a better job. On that note, I say good night. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. I have to say thank you for, again, our police department, and thank you, Captain Port, Chief Lane, and thank you, Tesla and SpaceX. Thank you for the donation. We greatly appreciate it, and we want more.
Everybody good? Okay, thank you so much. All right, so now it's anybody else? Okay. So I already made my statements on my support for faith-based organizations in our city. Thank you to all the pastors and all the different representatives of the organizations, Islamic Center, Christian organizations, coming up and doing the invocation, doing the initial prayer. Let's call it what it is, a prayer, before we start off our meeting, because this country was built, under God, right? That's never going to go away. So I think let's not forget that. Okay. So I made my comments on that. I wanted to make a quick comment on the report by LACADA. Thank you so much, LACADA, and our police department. for the presentation. A beautiful presentation. Exactly what I've been asking from other organizations out there, with all the services offered, numbers in the presentation, the way they were presented, and a graphical representation of all the services in detail. So I've asked this of the telehealth group, and I'm hoping that they can, when the next presentation is made, that they could structure something about that, around this presentation. So it's my deep desire that they do it. I don't want to waste this as a directive, but it's my deep desire, whether they choose to present it this way or not. I think it'd be important for them to do it. Okay, so that's that. And I'm very happy and very proud of our city being compassionate with regards to the homeless that are here in our city and the services that we offer. But again, my top priority is for the residents and the people who live here in our city, who have chosen to live here, rent, buy a home. My top priority is for them, because unfortunately, we can't turn a blind eye and pretend that there aren't any negative consequences for when the unhoused are here under the conditions in which they live and under the conditions, under the type of things that are happening surrounding these camps, people going throughout the community that are unhoused, that our residents are affected. Children seeing what they shouldn't be seeing when people have been found defecating, taking showers with the people's hoses and people's lawns, exposing themselves and doing several things. That's happening. And I've gotten messages from people, and that's not made up. And many of you have seen some of this stuff. So, so that's why I always want to underline the need for our police department to not let that pass, because if any person here on the council or anybody in the community were to do something like that, they'd be arrested and held accountable, okay? Whether on drugs, whether on alcohol, you would be held accountable. So I think that needs to be carried over to our unhoused population. We need to protect our community. But we still need to make that effort to help. Very important. I did attend the Independent Cities Association conference up in Santa Barbara, and there were many sessions that were great. And the one that did stand out, that Councilwoman Katrina Manning was in attendance with me on, was the issue of the cyber security, and cybersecurity in particular because of AI. AI has been developing so quickly that this allows for those people who want to just create like threats to communities and to get in there and jeopardize the security of municipalities in particular. Have AI has made it much easier. I mean, you put prompts in there and it just develops like the malware to be able to insert itself. So, but AI is going crazy. It's just, I think we need to control it somehow, but I don't know, it's kind of hard. But I know that there's ways, and there has to be ways that we can protect ourselves. And I guess they used to call it firewalls. I guess it's still a firewall. Yeah, we can still call it a firewall, build the appropriate firewalls to be able to address or protect us from those AI threats. So I don't think there's a directive needed. I think we have like our staff and people, Josh, that's taking care of this. But we saw that, and we thank you for your efforts. And we just want to place importance on that from our perspective, right? So that's that. Our Public Works Department is a great Public Works Department. I think, I really believe in what Akbar and people within his department have been doing has been excellent. We have had so many grants that our Public Works Department has applied to that have been granted to us, money that has been given to us because of our in-house grant writing capability. And we take upon it, we don't get vendors to do a lot of our work when it comes to certain things. with regards to planning and in particular public works. We do a lot of this in-house because we have the expertise and we develop our staff from the initial positions all the way up to directorships. So that's something to be proud of. I really don't think that, I think we've been very successful, and our public works in particular has been looked up to because of the quality of the ability to maintain the streets. We've been highly graded with regards to high marks with regards to our streets in comparison to a lot of our other South Bay neighbors. And there's a large city, I don't want to name them because I don't want to talk ugly either, but that was noted for having so many potholes. You were driving down Crenshaw. I mean, oh God, did I give it away? Sorry. And different other areas over there. And, you run into these potholes. But in the city of Hawthorne, it gets taken care of real quick. And our streets are paved regularly. We have a great rotation of street paving, repaving, and just the maintenance of our trees and maintenance of our sidewalks and our, what do you call the ADA compliant, ramps and everything. I think we have a great operation, so kudos to our Public Works Department. I think we're good at this. That's all I want to say. I do think the topic of the nonprofits is very important. I think they do need to be truly verified. I've said it before, and I've kind of commented on it, so this is not anything new, but it's good that we're addressing it. I'm anticipating a good directive over here because the city of Hawthorne has one of the highest numbers of nonprofits in the area, extremely high. If you look at the list of the nonprofits within our city, compared to other cities, it's just like, out the roof. And I'm really concerned with some of the nonprofits that come and approach us, like as well, just repeating it. If they're really nonprofits, or are they just an operation, an opportunity for people to donate to us, donate to that? That we get a sob story or something. Oh, I got a nonprofit, can you donate? And then people are donating without verification as to if they're legitimate. And as a nonprofit that we help and associate ourselves with, what are the results of what their efforts are? Anybody can set up a nonprofit. If you set up a nonprofit, anybody can come and ask for money for a nonprofit. And remember that if you set up a nonprofit, you have quote unquote directors that run these things. So how much money is going to those directors? We're entitled, if we're giving money as a city, to know how much money goes to the directors and to the actual services, the breakdown, and ask for that money. I guess since it's sometimes I think the tendency is to, since, oh my God, you're questioning them and you're attacking them, when they're like some organization that's trying to help people, you're against helping the children or something. You're against helping these peoples over here. By asking those questions, I think today we breached the topic, and I think it's important because there is a lot of abuse when it comes to that type of thing, okay? So I think today's topic that was breached was good. We need to find out who they are they legit, and they should, and the people who are coming to us, how many are Hawthorne based? Because I think we have a lot of organizations, some organizations that come and want to ask money and don't have, any history to Hawthorne. Okay, like they're shopping around trying to find out what cities can allow them to operate so that they could get some type of relationship with them. So that was that, right? It's important. Okay, so the city of Hawthorne, historically, I think we need to understand history. I know the gentleman from Bodger Park is coming up. He's affected by what's happening in Juanita Gardens. Hey, you're looking out for yourself. You're looking out for your interest in Bodger Park, okay? But I just want to let you know that historically, the city of Hawthorne has had an issue with this high-density apartments that are being built in Juanita Gardens and in North Hawthorne after successively since the 60s. Since the 60s, elected officials up here, wherever they were located, were making decisions, taking small, Monita Gardens were deep lots where there was it was a farming community. It was a Japanese farming community where they had deep farmland that was broken up into large lots. That's why you have some deep properties where you have like triplexes, quadplexes, etc. And those were bought up. And then starting in the 60s, you started seeing a lot of high-density housings pop up over there. That's a fact. Those were decisions that were made up here. Okay, so a lot of decisions were made where like high density, it was packed in there. These apartment buildings that everybody's complaining about. Okay, and it kept on going, and it kept on going, and it kept on going, and it kept on going into the early 2000s, I would say. And so as part of that, there was you got to realize that you got unscrupulous developers that are here, were here, and are no longer here because they did what they needed to and have left. And even up to this day, there's unscrupulous developers that are still around. Unscrupulous, meaning irresponsible, want to see how much they can build so that they can line their pockets. It's not so much that they want to produce a great product for the community, for the low and moderate income housing, right? Because I already told you how they play around with that to be able to build. Now they want to increase the money, taking advantage of the state laws that do not require them to have parking. And so what does that do? It ends up affecting situations like this gentleman over here in Bodger Park, okay? So there was a lot of unscrupulous decisions that were made here on the city council. Okay, at least under my watch and my colleagues' watch, I believe we haven't let anything slide. But now what's been undertaking us is the stupid decisions initiated by this Scott Wiener guy, and all the assembly members and all the Senate folks out there who have voted for this that have used this whole little TOT, I'm sorry, the transit-oriented developments, allowing for us to build, or forcing us to build housing without parking, okay? So a combination of, I know the gentleman over here came and waited to hear what we had to say. I'm telling you, bad decisions for the city council that created a neighborhood that was packed up to the hilt, and the most recent bad decision, attack on local land use policy. They're taking away our ability to decide what goes into our neighborhood. People who are not from here, that are up from San Francisco, from other areas, that don't live here, that don't know what you are experiencing, what the gentleman over here, maybe you two ladies, and everybody else here is experiencing. Okay? So I'm asking, I'm telling you, thank you for coming and speaking, but be careful who you vote for the state legislature. That's who you should be going to talk to right now, not us. Are we going to be able to fix, I'm going to tell you, are we going to be able to fix the parking situation in this area? How can we when we're being forced to build more housing units? We can't take it about it. It's your decision to who you vote for. So we're trying to do this, and we're trying to, the projects that we have a control under as a city, which is one, maybe two, we can determine how much parking goes in it. But not all these other ones where these developers come and just smile and I'm gonna build you mixed use and you're gonna have like 3 businesses on the bottom as an excuse to build like a 4 or 5 story, 30 unit per I guess what was it, acre type of property. Okay? We do need low to moderate income housing, but it's not working out. It's just not working out because we got unscrupulous developers that are taking advantage of this whole situation. I understand your concern, the residents, but you're directing it to the improper body. Gotta go be careful who you vote for, okay? I've been saying it up here, and our council colleagues have been also saying it at different times, okay? Also, the particular development that you're talking about has already been approved since last year, maybe even early last year, right? So it's been approved since last year. So I really invite you to be very involved and to not just come for these one-off topics that concern you. Be very familiar with what happens on the decisions that are being made here on the city council, because there's times where I've opposed all these high-density projects. I do not think they're appropriate for our city, not the way they're designed and built. So when I'm here arguing for something, I didn't see you here when I had suspicions about this. I didn't see other people here when they're like opposing something after the fact, like months later. So we needed to be fully involved so that you know what's going on in the community. It's very important so that you could cause the appropriate opposition to stuff, okay? It's very, this is just, bothers me that, you know, that the state is doing this to us. All right, the directives. Anybody have a directive?
I do.
I think, yeah, let's just go on 1, 2, 3, 4. I think
Okay.
everybody has a directive.
City manager.
I thought it was the first. Okay.
What happened?
I thought you said 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, just whatever, man. We all get our directives.
Okay. City manager, can you, my stipends, can you give $250 of my stipends to Anointed Feet, the Cuban Festival, Holly Park Little League, and there's one more, domestic violence. I can't think of the woman's name.
Star.
Star?
Star Justice.
Yes.
Can you repeat that, please, one more time?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
The Cuban Festival,
Okay.
Anointed Feet,
Noted.
Holly Park Little League, and Star Justice,
For justice.
domestic violence.
So it'll be a total of $1,000, correct?
Yes.
Noted.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Next.
Okay, no vote needed. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, to the chair.
Yes? Well, let's go to Mayor Pro Tem, whichever one. Let's just go. If you'll get yours next, please.
Just to remind Vaughn, that proclamation for the VFW Commander Roger Mercy's have to be ready by the 21st.
Of March?
Yes, because remember I asked for the last.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have that under control.
Yeah, and I got an email also from the Rotary that they celebrate 100 years, so they want a proclamation in April. So I'm just giving you a heads up.
Are you asking for a vote now, or are you going to
Yes.
bring that item back?
I want to vote.
Thank you.
I make a motion for the Rotary proclamation.
Second.
Please vote.
The votes are in. Voting reflects mayor and council voting yes.
I just want also to follow up what I said, to the speaker,
Can't hear you.
Mike?
Yeah, I just want to follow up on that Starlink thing because I think it's a good idea to think about because you know how during the COVID all the kids was trouble to get to the internet, and then the school district have to pay for the internet to go to the at least 10,000 homes for them to get their work done. So if we can ask Elon Musk to donate us a Starlink, and then we can have the free website, free Wi-Fi in Hawthorne for all the entire resident, it's something to pursue.
That sounds, point of information. That sounds like a directive. Would you want to at least study this before we make a motion on that?
Well, it's just they can do they can do what do you call it? It is kind of directive, but because it has to be serious, right? Because since he have donated Starlink to some other third world country, right, to Africa, so Hawthorne will benefit was to have free Wi-Fi for entire city. So think about that.
So Hawthorne is a third world country?
I didn't say that. I said he had donated to some other countries, and so you
said other third
we have low-income families.
So what I'm hearing is that you're asking the city manager to see if this is feasible? Yes. And that's an administrative task.
That's outstanding word, visible.
So that's not a directive that needs to be voted on, right?
I think it is because he's asking the city manager to do an administrative task.
Motion? Yes. Second. Please vote on that. You have something? Katrina? You have something?
The votes are in. Voting reflects mayor and council voting yes, Katrina Manning abstaining.
Councilwoman Angie Reyes English.
Thank you, Mayor. So earlier I had requested for a legal confidential for all council members with regards to nonprofit organizations and whether or not through the correct process in which a nonprofit organization should be registered with the Secretary of State to be able to do outreach to our community, right? For donations and things like this, whether it's monetary or otherwise. I'm asking for a legal confidential to provide legal information to council on the facts in which we should ultimately pursue to assure that these nonprofits are legit. And if they are, I would like to see their 501(c)(3)s copies for their nonprofits to be filed with the city clerk's office moving forward. And then, Vaughn, I know that this list was provided to me, which is the list of those that have done business with the city with regards to requesting donations and things like this. However, I don't see, and I do remember Anointed Feet, I think this ultimately needs to be updated again, because I think it was provided at our last council meeting that we updated it and it was added. I think we added them and it's not on this list. So just an FYI.
Since the request for legal advice will require more than 90 minutes of work, thank you for bringing this as a council directive. Thank you. So that's a motion on the legal aspect of it.
Yes, if I could have a motion.
Point of information to Councilwoman Angie Reyes. So you just want them to do the research and get us a legal confidential,
Yeah,
right?
what the legal requirements are for having a nonprofit organization. And I know I'm familiar with this, so I know there are legal requirements and registration with the California state to be able to solicit for donations and services.
That won't be a problem, assuming there's a
I'll second that.
Okay. Dana?
That was a motion and a second.
Yeah, please vote, guys.
The votes are in. Voting reflects mayor and council voting yes.
Anybody else?
I have a directive, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
I make a motion that we create a dedicated airport information tab on the front page. Not that it is the front page, but that there's a tab across the front page of the city website, and to also reach out to the FAA to see if we can get a rep to come out and do a presentation about our own airport.
Is there a second?
Second. Please vote.
The votes are in. Voting reflects mayor and council voting yes. Angie Reyes English voting no.
Mr. City Attorney, could I ask you a question in order to determine if donating money on behalf of the city, are we limited to only donating to organizations that are nonprofits, registered nonprofits?
No.
Okay, so could you, well, I guess that just answers, that answers it. So we're not limited just to, they have to be a nonprofit. If they're an organization that's recognized
Right. I can tell you that when I worked at the city of Torrance, Honda would regularly develop or donate its vehicles to the city of Torrance. And as I said earlier, as long as those vehicles were donated with no strings attached, as long as it was done for a public purpose, that was fine. Technically, there was an issue with the vehicles in Honda. Some of those vehicles were not street legal, so that presented a problem. But anyway.
So the stipends that we have, we can donate to? The stipends.
The other way around.
Oh, I apologize.
The other way around. Because that depends if I want to make a directive for information. Can we donate money from our stipends to groups that are not nonprofits, that are established in the city of Hawthorne or elsewhere?
No, I'm going to have to do some research on that. Yeah.
So that's one directive that I'd like to make.
Okay.
If we can find that information so we know how to, just to make sure that we're doing this properly.
I'll second that.
Okay. Please vote. Councilwoman Johnson, can you vote?
Oh, I did, I'm sorry.
The votes are in. Voting reflects mayor and council voting yes.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Chair, thank you. If I could just add one more to the same, that we're not misappropriating monies to nonprofits that are not official nonprofits. In other words, you would provide us legal confidential on whether or not what he just asked you, if they're not, right? If they're not nonprofits or registered nonprofits, would that be, okay, in a legal misappropriations of our stipends to nonprofits that are not registered with the state?
So I think that's part and parcel to the request that was before. So what I'll do is, now that there's been a motion and a second, I understand the research assignment, so I can move forward on that.
I have one more though, but I think if people are misrepresenting themselves as nonprofits, as a guise in which to get money from us, that's improper. That's not cool, right? So that's something else.
To the chair.
Yes.
You can be a nonprofit, but not be a nonprofit that can accept donations where you get a tax deduction. There's additional paperwork that has to be filled out in order for you to have that additional protection from the federal level that says all donations are tax deductible.
Okay, I have another one. This is my final one. Anybody else? All right. I've had different groups. I think our Parks and Recreation Department has been growing, and it's just so many people participating in all the programs. And recently have had a call from, at least, I'm not going to over-exaggerate, maybe 2 groups of parents that have asked, hey, what's up with our summer camp, in the summer camp? So I kind of wanted to see what the status of that. So my directive would be if we could just look into what the status of that summer camp is, that property that we had in Wrightwood, I believe it was, Wrightwood, just to see what the status of it is and if there is any possibility that we could recuperate ownership of that. What are the limitations? What was the contract, with the people who are holding it right now? Can you restate my request, Mr. City Attorney, or Mr. City Manager? Just so that, people.
I can help you out.
Thank you very much.
It's getting late. I'll help you out.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Mayor, it seems like your request is that you're saying the city of Hawthorne operated and owned a summer camp in
Yes.
Wrightwood, and you would like to know what the status of it is and how it was transferred to whatever organization.
Yeah,
If there's a sunset on that transfer.
Sunset, right? Sunset meaning that it's gonna. Yeah. Well, what's the status of it? Is if it's permanently given away, or is there
Whether or not it would expire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted. Thank you.
Is there a
I
second?
second that.
Okay, please vote. Would that come in the form of a legal confidential? Yeah, of course, or a note, white or pink paper?
The city manager and I can discuss that, and if it requires a legal opinion, I'd be happy to give it to you.
Pink paper, right? Okay, please.
The votes are in. Voting reflects mayor and council voting yes. Angie Reyes English voting no.
Okay, thank you, folks. I think anybody else? All right, so what else we have? There's no closed sessions on the agenda. Is there anything further from council members or staff? I just hope that everybody's conscious of what's going on in Mexico. It's very, very scary. I have relatives over there that were caught up, hunkered down for the last couple days. No, I mean, the focus is on the tourists, the Canadian and American tourists, and all this stuff. But there's a lot of people out there that are living this day to day that are being affected, and it just got worse for them in the last couple days. So I think if we could just think about them as we go, and
Yeah, I have relatives down there too.
just hopefully there's just a conclusive, change when it comes to stuff down there. Okay. Is there anything further from council members or staff? If not, this meeting is adjourned at 9:32 p.m.